Well, what is up? We're back. Been a minute, right?
It's been a minute, man.
And I figured I got to be like JR. I got to do the wraparound headphones. Yeah, it has been a minute. We have been, we're like that. We're like that girl that says, "Oh yeah, I'll go out," and just friend zones you for like 5 months. It was funny when I was yeah. No, the JR is not friend zoning me. Actually, this has been like trying to get us first, trying to catch us on the phone awake is one thing, because I think if I'm not asleep, he's asleep. Vice versa. So anyways, real quick, just in case you forgot, which would not surprise me, he is JR Kambakungan.
How you doing?
Also not JR Comics 42. Hit him up on Instagram. Links in the bio for his eBay page. Guy needs some help buying a chair.
Yep.
An internet connection. Computer.
Yep.
Actually, I might be the one with the internet connection problems, but yeah, I am coming from an undisclosed shield location somewhere in Bermuda Dunes, and thank you guys for staying up with this. Also, I did get some messages in our little hiatus. Oh, by the way, I'm Kevin Pillow at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms, including, I am happy to say, finally, your boy has been recognized on one of the most controversial social media platforms not called Twitter. I am finally at Voice of Reason 23 on TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, God.
For those of you that weren't with us last year, allow me to tell a story real quick. I'm at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms, Snapchat, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. About a little over a year ago, I think I wake up and my phone is just blowing up on Twitter. And I'm going, not really using Twitter all that much. I use it for like news, some news stuff and and whatnot.
Yeah.
And someone's tagging me. And I'm like, what the hell? And I click on it, it's a link, and I'm scared because it's taking me to TikTok. So and I at that point wasn't on TikTok. So I click on it and it's some crazy, and this is coming from me and everyone who knows me, I'm relatively conservative to moderate when it comes to politics, but
Hmm.
this guy was a nut, and he was a
Yeah.
right wing absolute bonkers nut job,
Yeah.
and he had used the handle at Voice of Reason 23 on TikTok, and then shared it on Twitter
Yeah.
and Instagram, but didn't change it to his handle. So he just copy and paste the link from TikTok, and his Instagram handle or TikTok handle was at Voice of Reason 23. So
Yeah.
which when he posted it on his other socials, it tagged me. Oh my God, was it a nightmare? Absolute freaking nightmare. Because I was
Yes.
getting lumped in with this guy.
Yeah.
And oh, it was sucked. So I went on TikTok. I basically asked TikTok, can I have this guy's handle? And he said, well, he's been banned.
Okay.
So that handle was banned,
Good.
and I was at Voice of Reason 23/7, so 237, and about 5 or 6, I think it was like about 5 or 6 months ago, I went on there and like, let's see if it's available. Oh, it is. Click save. Yes. So yeah, at Voice of Reason 23 on TikTok now. Oh, and Threads. I did download Threads.
Oh man, like
I never use
I
it.
yeah, it's you know my stance on social media as it is, man. It is just a cacophony of just shit upon shit upon shit. It
Yeah.
is. You can't have a actual contextual or at least a very nuanced conversation nowadays. It's very much you're with us or against us type of shit. I'm like, it's the old arguing with the young, and it's like I'm good, bro. Y'all can just y'all can just talk shit about each other and dox each other and all this shit. I'm just gonna sit aside. I'm not really. I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck.
Here is my take on social media, and Jerry, you hit something right on the nose.
Yeah.
Is the social media um,
Yeah.
generation, which would be
Mhm.
beyond me. I'm a Zennial. I identify as Gen X, but I'm a
Yeah.
Zennial because I was
Okay.
born in '81. Jr., you were born in what,
80, 87.
87? So
87. I'm a
you're
millennial.
you're a,
I'm a
you're a
millennial,
millennial,
Gen X millennial.
and
Yeah.
millennials really have had for the longest time had a negative connotation to them because of their um, fascination with technology and whatnot. And
I mean,
you know,
yeah.
I I had a
Mm,
jump start on you because, like I said, born almost a half a generation or half a decade before you. Um, I was introduced to technology, but not at a super young age. Whereas, you're born in '87, so that puts you in like kindergarten, first grade, 92,
hmm
93.
Yeah.
Me, when you're born, I've already gone through kindergarten and first grade. So I think my earliest recollection of technology was probably third or fourth grade, where
hmm
I got my hands on the Macintosh. Now, mind you, that was the computer at that point was almost a decade old.
Yeah.
But your introduction to it probably was relatively. So it's funny.
You
So
had
to go back to the
yeah.
original point is like you have a generation, and I think it's mostly Jr. I think it's after your generation. I think it's more of
Yeah.
the Gen Alpha and the Gen Zers that
hmm
are they don't know news. They just know
Instant.
Reddit.
Yeah.
They know Reddit. They know Twitter and whatnot. They
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. It's the thing. The crazy thing about, and I know this is not necessarily what we want to get into, but like it's just very. When people say it's the most polarizing time, it not necessarily isn't. It's that people have opinions, and those said opinions are just overall stupid opinions, right?
Yeah,
We all had stupid opinions before in the past, and that's fine. It's just that when we said our stupid opinions out loud, we would get rebuffed. We would get rebuffed with those opinions in person, right? People
Yeah.
just say shit online without, getting a slap to the face. Like, that's a dumbass opinion. Stop it. And like, I think that we are the generation where like the reason why we shut the fuck up is because a lot of the personalities or a lot of people that's around us exists around us. That's it. It's like, hey, I have some shit to say and it's gonna hurt some feelings, and I'll give a fuck. But when I say it, guess what? People gave a fuck, and their feelings were hurt, and we could catch hands, whether or not I'm right or wrong in that opinion. It's just like we we don't see nowadays the repercussions of having these opinions out in the physical type of
Yeah.
stuff, right? I'm not saying that physical harm is easily the number one thing that should rebuff things. I'm just saying that people don't understand consequences.
No.
People,
They
these consequences are just online interactions and stuff like, oh, all these things, which are again horribly horrendous shit to say, right? Putting wanting to have like quote unquote harm and hurt towards yourself or your family is obviously fucking stupid. But there's an obvious difference from saying, hey, I'm gonna freaking kick your ass, than to me actually kicking your ass type of stuff. And so it's like I'm not saying that this generation is soft. I'm just saying that like there's a lot of things that is being said today among all generations because of social media. And like, yo, damn well if you said this out in the open by yourself, saying with the same puffy chest as you do online, it would be different because obviously society is going to change you. But again, man, it's just yeah, X, all that stuff. A lot of this shit, man. It's like both presidents suck. Both fucking candidates sucks. Both of them are way too fucking old. Both of them should honestly at this point should just. I'm not saying keel over, but just get the fuck out.
This
Both of them.
not exactly where I was going with that. I was going to talk about the toxic
Exactly.
once again
Yeah,
the toxicity of
of
fanboys
everything.
and one of everything. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, it points into it too. But like, it's just like that's the every conversation after this is just a scope of like, oh, which one's better, side A or side B? Well, fuck you, I don't care. My side's better. It's like every discussion after this is basically gonna be that. And like, it's just the biggest one is like, yo, we had two old heads, really fucking old heads that should not be running anyway. But then again, that's me ranting. Like going on to like other conversations we'll probably have about like all the other fandoms, man. It's the same shit. The old
Yeah.
heads versus the new versus the young, man. And like they got like you and me, who I guess we're kind of old heads at this point, but like we're stuck in the middle of like, let's bring up Star Wars, for instance, right? Like I am young enough to know, I'm young enough to know that like the hate that's being put upon the new Star Wars fans or the new Star Wars stuff, I understand that it's toxic and it's unbecoming, right? Because I love episodes 1, 2, and 3. Well, I've learned to love episodes one,
I
two, and three
was to say I think that's the best way to
because
describe it.
because of Clone Wars. But people hate
Yes.
on Clone Wars, right? But I'm old head enough to know that the reason I can understand why there's hate towards the new, right? The very new, right? The Disney Star Wars. I could understand why there because I've learned to love 1, 2, and 3 as well as Clone Wars. Like y'all trying to just erase the history of that while give us something exactly new. I'm like yo, that's disrespectful to what's come before you.
That,
So
and you mentioned something right there, Jr. And I think that is a testament to, or that's something that kind of can cross a lot of um,
yeah.
platforms. Is we have a generation that just wants to remove history. And I was having this conversation
Mhm.
with someone the other day that didn't understand what the phrase
Mhm.
retcon meant. And I know that there is a growing number of people that want to retcon, like for example, Star Wars want to retcon um the sequel trilogies, and I'm like,
Yep.
retconning to me is the lowest form of it is pure laziness, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think it goes to, and I know I'm gonna sit there and say and say, and so hear me on it. It's like it's it goes along the generation. It goes along with the line that people go like, "Oh my gosh, Hollywood can't come up with anything original nowadays, so they just rehash everything." And so people go like, "Well, Kevin, you like sequels?" I'm like, "The sequels of a good thing, you know."
Yeah.
Um, you know, they need to stop remaking, good movies and
Yeah.
stop making sequels of bad movies. And like Star Wars, I mean, shoot, Disney spent how much money buying the rights to Lucasfilm? Of course, they're going to crank out a whole new
Mm-hmm.
series, which I know
Mm-hmm.
is polarizing, and I'm not a big fan of the sequel trilogies. I enjoyed Force Awakens.
Okay.
I can choke down um, with a large
Last Jedi.
scotch, Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have liked them to be better? Of
Oh,
course.
100%. Yeah.
Uh, do I accept them for what they are? Yes, I'm not going to put my head in the sand and act like they don't exist. I
Yeah.
acknowledge, it's like our buddy says, acknowledge me. But you have to, whether you
Yeah.
like him or not, you have to acknowledge the sequel trilogy. So, going back to to bash on the fans, Star Wars fans, shut the fuck up. Uh,
Yeah.
just be glad that we have Star Wars. Think about this: we grew up
Yeah.
for so long. Original movie came out in 77. We got what,
Yeah.
Empire in 1979, 1980. So look for me, my generation, my as a kid, I had one Star Wars. I had Return of the
Yeah.
Jedi. And I didn't get to see that in the theater. I didn't get to see a movie. I didn't get to see a Star Wars movie in the theater until 1997.
Yeah.
So I waited 2 decades for new Star Wars, almost 2 decades for new Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, didn't like it at first, learned to love it.
Yep.
And then I can remember it was very emotional during Revenge of the Sith, going, "That's it. We're not going to get any more."
Yep.
Because want to know why? Star Wars fans were so vitriol, were so freaking toxic that before Revenge of the Sith had even hit theaters, I went to the midnight showing of Revenge of the Sith. Before
Yeah.
that movie the movie had come out, Lucas had already said, "I'm out, bitches. You guys
Mm-hmm.
suck. I
Yeah.
don't want to make any more movies." So
Yep.
you ran the creator out. He
Yep.
sold the company, and
Oh,
they're gonna wake up
yeah.
one day and we're not gonna get Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. It's one of those things, obviously, right? There's a lot of, here's the thing. When fans become purist type of stuff, right? Like I've gone through this stage too, where like I want to be a gatekeeper, I want to be a purist, I want to be like, no, that isn't what the thing that I love and desire want. It's actually this, right? And so I get it 100%. I get it, because like we've always hammered on this point. It's hard to be a fan, right? It's hard to be a
Yeah.
fan of something that's so popular now, especially when like, I was when we were quote unquote fans, right? When we were nerds from this stuff, right? Like if you weren't ridiculed for your love of a certain thing, right? And like it's like it's weird to see now that we're in a position, or we're in a space of like society where like, oh, it's hard to, it's how dare you be a gatekeeper of certain things, right? But like but it's like we've seen, for me personally too, I've seen it where so many people have tried to come into a space and say they're about the crew, but they're really just a poser, right? For
Yeah.
me, I see that. I'm like, you're either a poser, you're a grifter, you're this, you're that. I'm like, yo, you haven't really respected the culture, like honestly. And when people say, "Well, it's fucking Star Wars," I'm like, yeah, you don't care about it, and that's okay. If you don't care about it and say, "Well, that's just fucking Star Wars. It's space wizards and lightsabers," like, cool. Keep that same energy, and don't say you're a fan. Keep that exact same energy, because that's the same energy that I always fought against for so long. You tell me then if it's not important, because it's not important to you, but it's important to a lot of other people, especially if like the one thing I don't want to do, right? And but I know I will fail at times, is to completely hate on somebody's like thing that they love, right? Thing that they are super passionate about. I would hate for it, for me, right? For to look down on somebody because they enjoy the thing they love. I might not agree with it. I might 100% disagree with it, but I'm never gonna fucking bash you with the thing that gives you joy in your life, right? And I feel, right, That's where a lot of the gatekeepers for specifically for Star Wars has been. It's like, yo, I'm the dude that got into like, full on freaking like I'm in full gear, right? I'm in full either my Jedi suit or I'm walking with Darth Vader, right? And I'm just like, and I'm the one getting ridiculed. And you're now coming in and you buy a lightsaber and say you're a fan or some shit, right? Like I get it. I get it. But it's so weird to see that type of fandom turn to vitriol nowadays, because like we've gotten to the point where everybody became so much like of a purist mindset where we just banish everyone from any trains of
Yeah.
thought. And so it's
And
like, good.
I was just saying, and that's going to get into
Mhm.
my opinion. Obviously, you can tell in the background, and for those of you joining us in the pre-show with
Yeah.
the little anime feel, I've got my opinion on anime. I went to my first Anime Expo, the big one
Yeah.
in LA.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna keep my opinion. I'm gonna keep my opinions. I'm gonna try to keep it as positive as possible. But JR knows that I'm going to be honest about my
Yeah.
opinion. And there's a
Be
difference
it.
between being honest
Mhm.
and whatnot. And like we are not getting into Acolyte tonight. We
Yeah.
are not. Acolyte's going to
I
be a whole show by itself.
Oh god.
That might need to be may need to be digested after a week or so after the series ends.
Mhm.
And I think there's a couple more episodes. I don't know. I'm actually 2 weeks behind. This is
It's
a show.
what last week was episode 7?
I have
I
still
think
yet to
so.
watch 6 or 7. Yeah, I have still
So
yet to watch
one more
6 or
week.
7.
It's only 8
8.
episodes.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
last episode is on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we'll plan on, if, and it's a big if,
Mhm.
we'll try to do a wrap up show on Acolyte, but I think you're going to probably see us do a wrap up of Acolyte um, maybe after Comic Con. By the way,
Yeah.
San Diego Comic Con, 12 days away from
Yeah.
today. It opens a week from Wednesday. That's right. It's already here. You got the countdown there on the
Crazy.
bottom scroll. San Diego Comic Con, July 24th and 28th. D23, which I also will be attending August 9th and 11th. JR, are you going to Rose City or no?
Oh, Rosie, I might. I'm looking at like my calendar right now, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to personally just for because the end of the year is like family stuff and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely on my list still. So I still
Okay.
kind
So
of want to go
that's,
to it.
for those of you people ask like why Rose City Comic Con, that's essentially JR's kind of,
It's awesome
for
Comic Con,
lack of a better
man.
term, it's his home con.
So that's my
Um,
homecomes. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I do want to, because you got to go to this last year. Was it this year or the year before? You went to
oh
Emerald
for
City.
last year, but I had a freaking foot injury, dude. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
that's right. That was not fun.
yeah.
But
I went to it though.
WonderCon coming back end of March next year. Star Wars Celebration will be in Tokyo next April. I cannot wait for that. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think at that point in Star Wars Celebration, we will probably have some information about the movies, which will be
Yeah.
like Mando and Grogu, Heir to the Empire, the new Jedi
Yeah.
Academy, and don't forget too. People forget this. People forgot about this with Acolyte. Okay, we're actually getting a High Republic movie.
Yeah.
I forgot about this, and I started thinking about it because I was talking to another friend of mine. I said, I hope Acolyte hasn't ruined um,
The chances
uh,
for that?
I hope Acolyte hasn't ruined the chances to tell the stories of the High Republic era, which I think there are some amazing stories to tell in the High
Yeah.
Republic era.
Yeah.
Comment. I want to say thank you. A little comment from our Instagram account. Jenna, I want to say give her a shout out. Exactly. Whatever we each nerd out about is part of our individual beauty. The worst kind of person is someone who makes you feel bad, dumb, or stupid for being exactly about
What?
bad, dumb, or stupid for being excited about something. Do you know who that quote was from? The worst kind of person is someone who makes you feel bad, dumb, or stupid for being excited about someone.
I don't remember.
The great and powerful T Swift right there. Taylor couldn't have said it better herself. So Jenna, thank you for the quote over on Instagram. Appreciate that. And again, I'm a fan. I may not be a fan of it, Heck, there's some stuff that I'm like, not really for me. But if it got canceled, I'd be like, oh, that sucks because it
Yeah,
made someone happy.
yeah.
Doctor Who, Doctor Who. My ex loves Doctor Who. I
Hmm.
tried. There was some stuff I got into. I love
Yeah,
Matt Smith. I love David Tennant.
they're awesome.
Eccleston, I was a fan of. I think he's a
Yep.
fantastic actor.
Hmm.
But Peter Capaldi, who was a polarizing doctor, got me into it. I actually liked the girl,
I forgot her
Whitaker,
name too. Yeah, Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah,
And so but Doctor Who, is it for me? No. If it got canceled, oh, that
not
sucks.
anymore. No,
But it would
it's
make
isn't it was it, yeah. It wasn't for me anymore about after 11. I think it stopped being for me. I forgot who the actor was for After 11, but it was yeah, it was. You see this in every age, and I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but like it's
no, no, no,
definitely
no, no.
you know when something's not for you anymore when when you rehear the same stories, but like you're like, well, I heard this story, and it's the same thing. Like, oh, they're now telling it to me 4 or 5 years ago, but for the kids now 4 or 5 years ago, type of stuff, right? They're saying those kids now. It's like that, and that's how I view it. It's like they're telling the exact same story to you that you heard, but now to the younger versions of yourself, the younger kids nowadays. And so it's like it's just not for me anymore. Like it's the same stories technically, but like it's just not for you anymore. Like that's how I view a lot of not just Doctor Who now, but a lot of the newer MCU shows too now. But go ahead after I cut
Yeah.
you off.
So no, and so just going back to when it comes to fandom, like I don't hate on it. But I will talk about Anime Expo. That's going to talk about. But let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
real quick. Uh, did not
Yeah,
see
sure.
this coming. No real news came down on this. But this morning
Yeah. Yep.
we got a trailer, bro. I
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
this was not expected. Do we
Well,
want to go with this one, or do we want to go to side by side?
let's go to the top one. Before you actually start, funny enough, right? I was actually over X I was on X like a couple days ago, right? And it was tweeted out saying, "Hey, expect a Captain America Brave New World trailer to drop," but it was yesterday, and it got so much traction, right? Like, oh, 1 more hour until it drops. Oh, no, 3 hours till it drops, 2 hours till it drops, 1 hour drops, and it didn't drop. And people are like, "Oh, what the heck, man? We need to go find this guy, have some, talk to this person." Like, "Hey, man, where'd you get information from?" And lo and behold, it drops today, just out of nowhere. So maybe it was a possibility that was supposed to drop yesterday, but because there was such a brewing of it, right? Like Marvel's like, nah, we're not gonna, fan the flames of like, the people that think they got this right. We'll do it today.
I
So
was really, really shocked that it got released.
yeah,
Mind you, this is owned by Marvel, the
yep.
Walt Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, Marvel Entertainment, Walt Disney Corporation. We don't own this. Thank you to YouTube for allowing us to stream it. So we are prepared. This could be the greatest episode that JR and I ever do, but we're prepared right now to lose any
Uh, monetization,
monetization.
monetization. Yep.
Yeah, that word. So here he is. If this is the first time you've ever seen it, if you want to go away, spoiler alert, this is the trailer, first official teaser. This is not even a trailer, it's the first official teaser of Captain America Brave New World, Captain America 4.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
I thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election. You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Sir, your inner circle has been compromised. Either you can't see that or you don't want to.
What if it's a trap?
Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
You're right. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right. So a lot to take away from that trailer: theories, ideas. First off, Jay, when you said you said you saw it before I did
Yeah. I
this
saw it
morning, because
earlier today. Yeah.
I just sent you I had sent you the screenshot of Red Hulk, and
Yep.
so breakdown. First off, we get to see finally Harrison Ford joins the MCU. It unfortunately came at the cost of I cannot think of his
I
name
forgot his
now.
name. Yeah.
The guy who played Thaddeus Ross since the Incredible Hulk. Fantastic job, by the way, since
Yes.
day one as General Ross and Secretary of State Ross. But yeah, that's who he is playing. Obviously, at this point, Thaddeus Ross is running for and looks to have been elected president of the United States. This comes on the heels of President Ripson. I can't think of his name. The guy that was the president during in Secret Invasion and a couple other shows. We don't know, though. There's been multiple theories that Thaddeus Ross was actually that president's vice president, or this could be him running on a completely different ticket. A lot of people point to Thaddeus being a very moderate to um,
Conservative.
kind of a what's that?
Conservative.
Well, yes and no. There's a lot of people that say that um, they're drawing comparisons, and again, not the political show that we want it to be, but that people are comparing him to a moderate style Barack Obama. There's a lot of comparisons to the two of them, and that there's some people say, like in his White House, in his Oval Office, that there's pictures of both Democrat, Republican, and Whig, which was an old style
Yeah.
conservative group, I think, in the 1700s and the early 1800s.
Yeah.
So it's multiple different political parties that are represented in his Oval Office. Also, he has the big Together poster during his rally and whatnot. So, but it's people, they're theorizing that he wants there to be that cohesiveness where we can have superheroes, but so he's kind of like, I'm on board with the Sokovia Accords still, but those have kind of gone away. So let's find the happy medium. The other thing too that I thought was pretty obvious in this trailer, after watching it for the third time, I finally see it, is the guy who tries to assassinate President Ross is
Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley. We met him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And JR, you and I have said since that episode aired, when we first get introduced to him, we need a movie. We need this guy. We need this story. We're going to get him back. The guy who played him was fantastic. What the hell, man? He turned into a villain.
Well, so okay, and first and foremost, actually, the actor who passed away, William Hurt, he's been who's played Thaddeus Ross since like Civil War, right? I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was either Civil War or maybe even Avengers 1.
He appeared. Thaddeus Ross appeared. William Hurt's Thaddeus Ross appeared.
Yeah.
At first in Incredible Hulk. Returned.
No. That was different. That was different Thaddeus Ross.
No, it's you're thinking of Ang Lee's Hulk, which was what's his name? No, William Hurt was Incredible Hulk. Okay. And he came back for Civil War as the Secretary of State, and then returned in Avengers Infinity War. I believe he's in Endgame, and he's also
He's
in
in
Black
game.
Widow.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're thinking of I was someone was asking me that too. No, it William Hurt did go back to
Okay.
Incredible Hulk,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm
which I
thinking
was
of
I was
yeah. I was thinking of Clancy Brown did it. Did Eddie Strauss too? Actually, wow, that's cool. I'm thinking of Sam Elliott. Okay. Yeah. So
Sam Elliott.
he wasn't Hulk.
He
Yeah.
he was. So here's the thing too, real quick, to chase the Hulk storyline, which we're going to talk about after watching this trailer,
Yeah.
is Ang Lee's Hulk technically not canon MCU.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not.
However,
Yeah.
however, when they produced the Incredible Hulk, there are references directly pulled. I think in the opening credits, there are references pulled directly from Ang Lee's Hulk that are referenced in the Incredible Hulk. So some will say that technically, the Incredible Hulk, which was with Edward Norton, was a
Mm-hmm.
soft sequel, not a reboot, a soft sequel to Ang Lee's Hulk. But
Yeah.
Ang Lee's Hulk is not official canon. They do not recognize it. Though I think Sam Elliott did a great job as Thaddeus Ross. I think the way they presented that movie, which was very comic book esque with like the cut scenes and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
was cool. But if you've ever seen it, it's not good. I tapped
Yeah.
halfway through. It's not.
Yeah. The director, which is a famous director who did Crouching Tiger and Dragon, as well as Brokeback Mountain, right? It wasn't his style of film type of thing. He shouldn't it was way too artistic type of thing, right? It was
Yeah.
way too much of an artistic movie for his type of thing. And so 100% agree.
Yeah. And the
But going
director
back
talking about is Ang Lee.
Ang Lee, yeah. And so but going back to the film, going back to Captain America here. Yeah, Isaiah Bradley looks great. I caught that immediately. Like, all right, cool. Something's gotta happen because we know damn well Isaiah Bradley's a good guy. Like, period.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. There's something initially happening with that film there. With the espionage type S thing. It felt very much for me. It felt very much akin to like to Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that. I really like
I
that.
enjoyed it too.
I am liking that they're harkening it back to at least the type of espionage type of shindig they're trying to go for, which I felt that supposedly I heard like it's supposed to be the exact same thing with what they're doing with Rhodey, right? With his versions, with his set of like whatever the hell they're doing with Iron Patriot, or no, what's his
Oh,
it's
they're
Iron Patriot.
no, it's called Iron Wars.
Iron Wars, yeah, but I know,
Iron
but
Wars,
what's his mark?
War
Iron Man mark?
Machine. War Machine.
War Machine. There you go, the War Machine. And so it's like I know what they're doing with that, and so this whole thing of the espionage, the multiple faceted things, and it feels very much like a political thriller, or not? Yeah, I guess you could call it a political action thriller.
It is because okay, so here is the fan theory.
Yeah,
is that Thaddeus Ross is trying to create and this is where the name got changed. It used to be called Captain America: New World Order. It got some negative connotation because of the current social political climate. So they changed it to Brave New World, and the reason they called it New World Order was because Thaddeus Ross is trying. This is the theory. So again, a soft spoiler alert is that he is the Tiamat, which is the god that is growing out of the bottom of the celestial. Sorry, that's growing out of the bottom of the Indian Ocean, which we saw in the Immortals. The Eternals. I apologize. I'm all over the place today. It's finally being recognized, and we know this too. That in the comic books, actually the Avengers campus post Civil War II gets moved to a hollowed out celestial in like Antarctica or something like that. No, it was in the North Pole. And so you see something similar to that. So they're saying that people have probably gone on to Tiamat and went, oh, there is some stuff in here that we could use, and that the fan theory growing is that this is how they're going to introduce animantium. That this is where animantium comes from, is because in the X-Men universe, animantium was, and I know it's like I hate to have to reference X-Men Origins, but kind of have to. Animantium was founded in Africa, so it was kind of alluded to because then they couldn't talk about vibranium because Fox didn't own the rights to Black Panther. That they used animantium as a product or a substance that was found in Africa, and then of course it was picked up by what's his name? I can't think of the guy from the military that created Weapon X.
Stryker. Yeah,
Stryker. So William Stryker, goes to Africa with his strike force, picks up the animantium, takes it back to the base in Canada. Bada bing, bada boom. Logan becomes Wolverine, and so the theory is this is where they're going to find animantium, and this is how they're going to start to move the pieces into creating the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe Earth 616. So there's that. Well, the Brave New World is that you have multiple countries who are fighting for this, that the United States, Japan, and possibly one other nation is working towards what's it called? Creating like a NATO style task force to guard Tiamat. The villain that we see in this movie is the leader, which we saw teased at the end of The Incredible Hulk, played by Tim Blake Nelson. The character Samuel Stearns will be making his return of course him. The leader was this big guy with a big old brain kind of deal. We saw again teased at the end of The Incredible Hulk where Bruce Banner's blood drips into a cut onto his head and starts to grow. Right. He's that character is coming back. Samuel Stearns will be in this, and that his power in one of the versions in the comic book is he is able to manipulate minds, and so we think that maybe he is the one behind Isaiah Bradley pulling the strings. So much like we saw in, like you said, Winter Soldier being a political thriller, we saw Hydra hiding in plain sight in the form of the new generation Shield. That the leader is also living in plain sight and is pulling the strings of some of these leaders. Also, did you see your boy in there?
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
Now, have you heard the rumor of what he is playing?
No. Who's supposed to be? I'm totally in the dark with the Incredible Hulk. No, with Captain America. So
Giancarlo Esposito is playing a character. It's rumored he is playing the character G.W. Bridge, and which stands for George Washington Bridge, real original name. But anyways, G.W. Bridge in the comic books is actually a mercenary who sometimes teams up with Cable, and actually at one point becomes a leader of, you guessed it, S.H.I.E.L.D. So could we be seeing that maybe this Brave New World is we get to see the reintroduction of S.H.I.E.L.D., which really hasn't been referenced at all in the Marvel Universe outside of some references in Black Widow. It really hasn't been referenced in modern timeline Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. Pretty much going back to Avengers: Age of Ultron, I really think is like the last time it canonically is referenced.
Shield, haven't they? I swear they had some level of recognition for Shield and I forgot the lagging spy thriller, which oh my god, dude, it had Emilia Clarke and
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
Secret Invasion. You're
Yeah,
right.
Secret
There
Invasion.
was some reference, but that. Oh no, that's right. A reference Shield, but Shield is no longer active.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
because it's Sword now. Sword
Yeah.
is, of course, the sentient
Yeah.
version, the space version of Shield.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no real acknowledgement of whether or not Shield still openly exists outside of
Yeah.
yeah,
Just yeah.
outside of Winter Soldier. So, anyways, that so I don't know. There's a lot of fan theories going around, but it's just, I think I'm excited to see Giancarlo Esposito, who is basically
Yeah.
um he's basically like at this point as Samuel L. Jackson. He's like, I'm one of the greatest actors of all time. I can do whatever I want, and all I want to do is play Star Wars and Marvel all day.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let him do whatever the hell he wants. At a certain point, though, it's like I would like her, but like a lot more veterans in there. But like Giancarlo and Harrison Ford are like, veterans that are like nearly like they're at retirement age type of stuff, right?
Yeah,
I'm talking about like, I would like to see Chris Hemsworth, right? Continue his role, but like the veteran, he's the one with like that's gonna be ahead of a certain thing, and just let him, pop up every now and then type of stuff, right?
and
Or
he has said that he is down for
yeah, for that type of stuff, right? Because I expect now where it's gonna be the younger crowd. It's been about 10 years, right? It's been about 10 years now since the original Avengers, and so it's about that time where like, cool, let's linchpin and let's try to pivot towards like who the younger Avengers are. Because granted, again, like you and I have said before, this new MCU is not for us, and I'm somewhat okay with that, right? I can still have opinion about like, man, it's very in comparison to what we literally had 5 years ago. But
oh,
like, hey,
absolutely.
someone's loving it. There's fans for it still. And I feel like in order for them to pivot that way even harder, it should be very much of the like, hey, here's the new crop of actors and actresses, right? Or here's a new crop of people now that you can see that you can root for, right? And not have to continually, fall on the basis of like, oh, we missed REJ playing Iron Man, we missed the Chris's of playing either freaking Captain America or Star Lord. We miss Scarlet, and we miss all these other, like, instead of doing that, let's continue to put on Florence Pugh as White Widow. Let's continue to put on oh my gosh, what's her name, dude? Who plays Hawkeye? Who yeah, she's Hawkeye. But I forgot her
Kate
name.
Bishop.
No, but the actress. Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Stout.
Haley,
Yes.
yeah. Let's continue to put on that one, right? Let's continue to put on more actors and actresses that are the new group now, right?
Yeah.
I forgot her name, Zoetel Chavez, who played America. No, Zoetel. I forgot her last name, but she played America Chavez in the recent something
Doctor
of
Strange.
Madness, right? Doctor Strange and some Multiverse of Madness. So like, let's put her on more stuff. Let's pivot more into if you want to go really about like, hey, let's start new. Go with the younger people nowadays and just try to pinpoint them and try to see what the hell try to figure out and just make good stories, man. Like,
And I think that's the direction they're going. Is
I'm hoping.
someone said that we could see the Young Avengers show up possibly as early as next year's Thunderbolts. So, which I got to imagine that's going to be, I think that's the movie coming out right after Brave New World, which will be interesting to see, considering that the Thunderbolts is obviously named after Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. So, I'm with you, JR. It isn't our MCU, but I think also too, what was great about the MCU was what made the original MCU so great was the world building, and it took 10 years. And now there's no more building. We're just adding to the world, and I'm okay with that too. But I'm also having fun going back, and I'm taking a break because we've been going so hot and heavy on Marvel for so long. I'm having fun going back to Star Wars, which I'll talk about in a minute when we talk about Anime Expo. But
I feel though that's like I know that for a majority of MCU stuff right now, it's just not for me, right? Like, I understand it's the same stories over and over again, though, right? what's her name? She just had a movie out with oh dude, what's her name? With Brie Larson and I forgot the other girl's name, but like the youngest Miss Marvel, right?
Yeah.
She's basically just showing up as Peter, right? But then it's just her version of the story. Cool,
Yeah.
I get that. It's for the younger crowd. It's for a different type of it's for a different type of genre. I can't, it's like I know this story already, and I'm happy that it's being told again. I just don't want to watch it over again, type of stuff for me, right?
Yeah.
There's not that type of nostalgia is in a different form. Like it's very much if people are into it, cool, people are into it. And no shame there. It's just like for me now, what's the other newer stuff coming to be? Oh, like the action in Action Echo. Even though Echo was very much a mixed bag with me, Echo overall cool. At least there's somewhat promising things there.
Yeah.
What the what's called the Werewolf by Night, obviously,
Oh,
right? I'm super excited about that as well as the other things. I'm hoping for the love of God they don't. If they're gonna kill Blade, kill Blade. But at
no.
least at least have Mahershala Ali do something, right?
I think
Something.
what we're seeing now, and I didn't think they had the balls to do it, but it sounds like they're going to, is they are stacking the deck for Midnight Suns.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I am okay with that. So and
Yes.
that would
So
be also which by the way, for those who don't know Midnight Suns, it's a group of more the darker
spiritually,
characters, spiritually, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like there's a video game that includes characters like Wolverine and others, but
yeah.
Midnight Suns, I believe, is Doctor Strange.
Yep.
It's Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider,
Yep.
but it's Ghost Rider,
Robbie Reyes.
Johnny Blaze.
Oh, Shane Blaze.
Well, yeah, which no,
I
not
thought it was
Johnny
Ghost
Blaze.
Rider.
That's
Yeah,
Ghost Rider is
Robbie
yeah,
Reyes,
Johnny
right?
Blaze. Johnny Blaze is
Wait.
not Johnny. I'm thinking Johnny Storm is
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, it's no. You're right. No,
It's Robbie
it's
Reyes.
not. It's Robbie Reyes. So it would be
Yeah.
Robbie Reyes, Doctor Strange, and I forget who else did. But in
Nico.
this,
Yeah.
yes,
I think
Nico from
yeah.
the
Runaways. From
Runaways,
Runaways.
which
Yeah.
I
I'm
would love deep cut that and bring
yeah.
the girl that
The
played
original
her
actress.
so good. By the way, anyone sidebar to chase a rabbit real quick, The Runaways, if you haven't seen it, underrated Marvel television show.
Really is.
The Runaways, because really and truly, if you follow the Yellow Brick Road, they all kind of connect. Runaways and
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger were
Yeah.
underrated. So good.
Yep.
But anyways, no,
It's
but what the incarnation they're going to do, I think, JR, is Doctor Strange, a version of Ghost Rider, which I'd love for them to bring in the Robbie Reyes that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
yeah.
Moon Knight, Man Thing, and slash,
That's right.
it would be Man Thing, but also, what's the guy's name? What's the character's name that played the Werewolf by Night?
Oh, him, yeah, but I
Yeah,
just
so
forget his name. Yeah.
it would be those two. Something Terrier. I don't know. It's like it's a dog. Euphemism. Jack Terrier.
something.
Jack Russell.
Jack Russell.
Jack
Yeah.
Russell. So yeah, it was some. For the rumor I have is Doctor Strange, a version of Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Blade, and Jack Russell and Man Thing from Werewolf by Night.
There's also a possibility too because then you have Kit on there, Kit Harington. It might be Black Knight as well. So
Which
that's
I hope they bring him back.
I know that Kit's been waiting for like a hot freaking minute since Eternals 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, right? So it's obviously like they're trying to wait for it. They're trying to stack the deck a lot, but it's just more so just because of the constant fumbling of Marvel Studios with like awesome talent they have. They for a little bit behind the eight ball, right? Or no, just for a little bit behind the scenes, right? Or talking about a little bit. right now, MCU, or for the last couple of years, right, the way they've been handling their stuff feels very much like how AEW's been handling their stuff.
Oh, you're gonna go there, or do you want to let that stew a little bit?
For those who don't know, AEW has a lot of amazing talent. Can put on a lot of amazing shows, but that's
Yeah,
all that is.
but no one can see it.
No, well, no one can see it. It's that there's no substance afterwards. There's no build up afterwards. They're starting to do it
Thank you.
nowadays, right? And that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
But like,
It's
it's just very much, it's very much a lot of like, hey, they're just there for the pizzazz, right? They're just there for that. There's no actual storyline behind it. There's no reason why we should freaking care about these people outside of them having big recognition names, right? Going back to MCU, it's like I feel like that's what they've been trying to do. They're just trying to do a lot of like, oh, the name recognition will get people to come to it, either the MCU and whatever so and so character. That's it. When really it's not about that. There's always there has to be a build up of storyline, like what WWE's been doing, and hopefully we talk about that eventually later. Like
we will,
AEW
yeah.
put some banger ass freaking matches specifically with like their top guys, right? Top people right now, right?
Yeah.
Your Tony Storm's the world, your freaking what's his name, dude? The number one, who's he like number one, number two wrestler in the world right now. From London, from the UK.
Oh, Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, and what's his name now in the AEW? Yes.
Oh,
Or is it not the same name?
Brian Danielson.
Okay, cool. He still does have the name. Or
He
just
does.
forget.
He was
But yeah,
Daniel
like
Bryan. Now is Brian Danielson.
Daniel Bryan. So it's like it's very much like, you know, you put those people in a match, right? And if you just turn your brain off and just see them doing these awesome flips and shit, cool, right? But what do you build after that? It's very much that. What do you build?
Well, I know. Let's get to. We'll get to it in just in a minute. I'll breeze through Anime Expo real quick. And we'll do my flex pool on Anime Expo. But because I only get to go to one day, but it was my first Anime Expo. I want to get in because I do want to chase the rabbit of WWE. And we do have another trailer to watch, but we could do it a little bit later. Jared doesn't know about this one. But Anime Expo, for those who don't know, it's like the San Diego Comic-Con for anime. JR forewarned me about this convention, the good, the bad, and the ugly about it, especially going on the day that I went, which was Saturday. I went against my own advice, which I've always told people: if you're going to go to a convention and it's going to be your first time, don't go on a Saturday.
Don't go on Saturday.
Real quick, from our friend Atner, this wrestling talk needs to be in it. We can go on for hours. Agreed.
Yep.
Atner would love to add you as the third mic. Let me send you the link if you will.
That's gonna be a 4-hour episode right there, bro.
You know, because it'll just be like if Atner comes in, this will be all right, guys.
Basically
it'll be I tap. I'm gonna go over, sit in the corner.
No, like, okay, but to continue with your thoughts of
so real quick, I get to LA about 7:30, 7:45 in the morning. I have to pick up my tickets. Yep. I park along Pico, which runs along the 101 freeway. Park in there, huge ass line. I'm like, do I have to stand on this line? They're like, no, you pick up your badge yet? I'm like, no. So I go and I pick up my badge, which was in front of LA Live, which is across the street from Staples Center. So they have that whole street blocked off. You cannot get in front of Staples Center. Crazy. Which is cool. I haven't been to the Staples Center, which I know is crypto.com. Fuck you. I'm calling it it's the Staples Center. Yes, we go pick up our tickets. I go, okay, now where do we go? He's like, oh, you go around the corners where the main entrance is. So we go to, everyone knows the main entrance of the LA Convention Center, which is it almost kind of looks like the Anaheim Convention Center. It's got like this big half dome glass entrance. So my daughter and I go in there and we get some merch, and there's just thousands of people in this foyer. And part of me goes for a second there goes, this isn't that bad. Maybe it's JR oversold it. Now, I find out later where JR's coming from. Rewind to 2023, a convention that for a weekend maybe does 100,000 people, 100,000 through the turnstiles. That's over 4 days. Because they start on Thursday, they go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for 4 days, they do 100,000 people. So in retrospect, Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con does over for a 5 days, Wednesday counting preview night, or 5 days, does over 250,000 people. Okay, but that's like the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Anime Expo, 100,000 over 4 days. 2023, they oversold it by double. You crammed 200,000 people through the turnstiles over 4 days. So you're averaging what, 50,000 people a day. That place does not have that kind of capacity. It is, if you've been to Anaheim before for WonderCon, it's a little bit bigger than that because it has multiple stories, and they use the multiple stories. But like they just cram so much exhibit space into such small halls, it doesn't work. And that convention really needs to be at a convention center like a San Diego, like a Las Vegas, where it's more long than stacked. That was the problem, because you had choke points all over the place on stairs and escalators. We went in, they had the halls were divvied up. The main hall was the exhibit hall, where you had a lot of a lot more merchandise driven. You had the Demon Slayer booth with their merch. You had that, and that was really kind of like the Marvel stage, so to speak. Then you had Hello Kitty. You had Sanrio. You had all these. So you had the different studios for merch. Then you went downstairs and you had Artist Alley. Now, Artist Alley at Anime Expo is not like it is at San Diego. It's very much more like it is at WonderCon, where it's more artists, like independent artists that are selling their wares, stickers, pins, posters, stuff like that. You don't see the real artist. You don't see creators. Whereas in San Diego and Artist Alley is a lot more creators, and that the Artist Alley that I saw at Anime Expo at San Diego would be kind of just outside of Artist Alley. And then you had the entertainment room, which was in a completely different building, which was a clusterfuck. That's where you have like Hulu, Studio Ghibli, Crunchyroll. So you had the streamers. You had everyone that streams anime was there. So you had that was really, really crowded because you just had no walkways. They had these big, huge booths that were closed in, so people were waiting in lines, waiting in queues outside of these booths to get in to go do whatever. And so you're trying to walk through from point A to point B while trying to squeeze between queues that are wrapped around these booths. And it was not fun. The worst part was the afternoon in Artist Alley, where it was just jam-packed people. And again, and this is no disrespect. There were some amazing artists, which I'll show off in just a second. I've got some prints and whatnot. And I did also get some merch. I got the official pins from Anime Expo. I'm gonna have to take this off, and I'll
continue. Good.
So, anyways, my real gripe is more about the people. When I go to San Diego, and JR, you and I have gone to WonderCon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's busy,
Mm-hmm.
but people are chill as fuck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We went Jason Aaron when we went to Jason Aaron's booth on Sunday last year. Cool as
Mm-hmm.
hell. Dude's talking about WrestleMania, was talking about the AEW. Everyone was happy.
Yep.
Didn't matter what race, didn't matter about what color, skin color, didn't matter about religion, sex, gender, whatever you want to talk about. People were chill. No
Yeah.
one was pushing and shoving. Everyone was having a good time. Anime Expo, or even San Diego Comic Con, which can be a sardine can at sometimes. People are cool. Hey, excuse me, sorry, let me get out of your way. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bump into you. Blah blah blah. Blah.
Yeah.
Anime Expo, not that way. Could be that it's in LA. You have Anaheim. You have WonderCons in Anaheim. It's Disneyland.
Mhm.
People are kind of cool. It's Orange County. What's up, brah? They're laid back.
Yeah.
San Diego, America's finest city. It's chill. People are laid back. It's a beach community. What's up? LA, just a bunch of assholes. But I've talked to people that have been to C2E2, and don't get me wrong, Chicago is the biggest group of pricks you'll ever meet. Sorry for those of you who are watching that are from Chicago. You know who you are. New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
potential assholes. Anime Expo. I'm trying, JR, to be politically correct here, but I'm just going to say this. The group of people that were the absolute rudest at Anime Expo, and I've ran into this group of people at other conventions, and they're maybe more outnumbered, but aren't as bad at other conventions.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that were the rudest at Anime Expo would be from the group of people in which maybe anime originated.
Mm.
If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Which there is a vast majority of them in the LA area.
Mm-hmm.
And they were rude as fuck. And I just really killed it for me.
Mm.
So you've been to this convention before.
Can you name a couple examples for me?
Are you wanting me to name examples of in which
The booths
situations?
you went to, where they're complete fucking assholes and talk shit and do all this other stuff because they fucking dealt with fucking other weeds for the last 2 days and now they're fucking, bro. I know absolutely everything you've gone through. And
Booths? No, get me wrong. The booths, the people running the booths, cool. The vendors, cool. Attendees of a certain ethnicity, not cool. And don't get me wrong, there were some of my people that were pricks too. Okay.
Yeah.
But
so here's the thing, specifically about Anime Expo, that I've seen rear its head for a fucking minute. And it's just AX, right? Maybe you would see that in some other expos too, specifically. But like, here's the thing about that: the type of weird moral superiority because you believe the culture is yours. It is one of the more baffling things. Granted, because like one, it's AX. But here's the thing too: there's another convention center, or there's another anime style like expo that's in LA as well, which is, I think it's LA. I forget what it's called, AXL, I think, or something like that, or no, LAX, or something. I forget what it's called. But there's another anime convention center in LA that people go to and people refer to, and they're way more fucking chill there. It's just more so this whole thing of like it's AX, right? The AX is, of course, the AX Anime Expo is the biggest expo of the year. It has been for the last 10 years now. And so you see a lot of people, regardless if they're Japanese or not, and I'm gonna say Asian people, right? A lot of, and not just Asian from Asia. I'm talking about Asian American fucking douchebags, where they have this weird type of sense of, superiority, because there's a lot of the culture being a lot of the content being consumed there. It, it's so fucking weird to be at a convention where you're being called out, quote unquote, or you're calling out other people for their weird behavior, or not weird behavior, but for their habits of liking shit, liking anime, liking whatever, while you're in fucking cosplay. It's so it pisses me off to no bounds to try to shame people mid expo. I've seen it so many fucking times by fucking random people, and and here's what here where I go again with the whole fucking gatekeeping thing. It's the casual motherfuckers that come along and try to shame others. But because they paid for their $100 ticket because oh my friend's going to, I'll go to too. It's those fucking people, dude. 100%. Anime is in now because a lot of the fans grew up, had kids, and those kids grew up on that shit too now. So it's like it's the same it's the same shit over and over again, man. It's a lot of people that oh, this thing's new. This is the new trend. Let me get into it. Oh, I look cute in this. Let me get into that too. It's like, yo, if you haven't watched I hate to be gatekeeper, but at the same time, I use that type of knowledge to see if I can check you on you're like, hey, do you know this type of shit, right? Right? Who was Inuyasha's first lover? If you can't answer that, I ain't trying to hear you.
See, that's the thing is, it's like it goes back to our topic about Star Wars is and you said you talk about gatekeeping. I can sit here and gatekeep, and like we sit here as the old as the head of the Jedi Council and go like, oh, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Oh, I loved the Rise of Skywalker. Get the fuck out of here. Literally, people will go sit there. People will sit there and go like, if you don't say Empire, you just like get out.
Here's the thing, right? My gatekeeping glasses don't come on until you try to shame other people, right?
Yeah.
If you go and quite literally, I think it was right. If you go out and try to, if someone else is cosplaying, and you like say some fucking snide shit, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's your cosplay looking like? Like knowing full well your fucking cosplay design was made for you and paid for you by another fucking company, and yes, that shit has happened. It's like, yo, get the fuck out of here, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? And so it's 100%, bro. A lot of the people that have gone to AX, man, the majority of them are probably really good people. Are really good people, nerdy people, and are full on introverts that want to like really love the thing that they love, right? They should be in a spot where they should not be judged in. And there's a lot of fucking people nowadays that come into these spaces now, and they say that, oh, I'm for the culture, but really you're just there to fucking, you're there to vilify. And when you call out for that, and when you call out on your bullshit, you go, oh, well, why are you in this anyway? It's fucking weird. It's like, bro, get the fuck out. What are you doing? Why are you here? Because you watched one episode of because you watched one season of fucking Demon Slayer? That's it?
Nice reference.
Just because you watched the most recent episode of fucking JJK or the most recent season of JJK, you think you're a fucking anime fan now? Or you want to claim that shit, but at the same time vilify the people that are like, oh, when they say some shit like, oh, well, if you're into JJK, maybe you should watch this or this or that. And you go, oh, I'm not that nerdy. I'm like, bro, fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here with their nonsense, man.
Is this the reference you were going for?
It's again, man. It's like I see all these nuances and these facets of like why gatekeeping is horrible, but at the same time necessary. Right? It's horrible but necessary because it's like, oh, you shouldn't gatekeep people from doing the thing in love. Well, guess what? Sometimes people fucking want to go into your subculture and destroy it from within. Right? and make people who've been in the culture for so long feel fucking bad about themselves. Fuck them. 100% fuck them. Like, right? Like, in here, I'm gonna rant about the fucking other people. Oh my god, I'm just gonna rant, and I don't want to because I don't. Oh my god,
It's the goat of starters right there. The goat of starters. Just,
Adner, get your boy. Adner, get your boy. Get your boy. Get your boy. Anyways, these motherfuckers who go in, vilify other people for their likes while they're in fucking cosplay, only to go out and fucking use advertisements for their own fucking bullshit, is like the weirdest corpo shit I've ever seen in my life. This weird indication of corporate entities, right? Masking around themselves as influencers, trying to infiltrate the spaces of people who just straight on nerds for the longest time. Now come in and try to dictate what's right and wrong nowadays. That's the shit that pisses me the fuck off, man. And this whole I've seen it so many times where this young cute kid, either boy or girl, who wants to try to be a costume, who wants to try to be the thing that the person they love gets like the fucking lip service from one end, the lip service from one cosplayer. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good thing, but they go back and say, oh, that's fucking terrible. We're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oddly enough, and for those of you who haven't, go over to my Instagram at Voice of Reason 23, and I posted the picture, and I didn't do a great job at it. I wanted to make it better for San Diego. Was, like I said, anime, not for me. I went for my daughter. My daughter has really gotten into it over the last couple of years, and that's why I wanted. She really wanted to go. Like, my son wanted to go to Star Wars night at Disneyland. I took him. My daughter wanted to go to Anime Expo. She'd heard about this convention. She was really looking forward to it. There's a bunch of her favorite creators that were going to be there, which we didn't get to meet. That was a whole. Oh, don't even get me started with that. You think the freaking the portal system for getting tickets and shit for WonderCon and Comic-Con International are fucked? Dude, don't even get me started with Anime Expo. It's technically technically easier. It is technically easier to get tickets, but it's so freaking. They don't tell you. They tell you nothing about where to get tickets. So, like, we wanted to go meet this guy who does the voice, the American voice. I think it's the guy who does the American voice for. Oh my God, she just completely forgot his name. The lead character from Dragon Slayer. Demon Slayer, I'm sorry.
Demon Slayer. Yeah. Demon Slayer. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Who's the character?
Tanjiro,
yeah. I think it's the American. Let me double check. I have to look him up. But we wanted to go see this actor, and we just couldn't. Let me see. He is. No, I'm sorry. The actor that. No, yeah, he is. The voice actor. What his name is? Griffin Burns. He does the voice for. He's in Final Fantasy. He does Genshin Impact. He is also Michiro Tokido. Did I say that right? From Demon Slayer.
Tokido. No, Tanjiro. There should be Tanjiro is the brother. The oldest is.
I know, but the characters in the series is Muichiro Toki. What is
He's
it?
He's Inosuke? Wait, MU? Oh, MU. Oh, yeah. I forgot his name. Yes, I know. He's one of the Hashiras. He's one of the Hashiras, I think.
Anyways, so my daughter met him at WonderCon in 2023 and said he was super nice, and so she wanted to meet him again. But he was essentially behind a paywall, and we didn't know about it. Main character is
Inosuke. It's the kid who has a boar mask most of the time. So yeah.
No, the lead character is what's her name? The sister.
The sister, yeah, she is, honestly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, all
100%.
the merch. Well, let's see. Where is it? Hold on.
Are you gonna? Okay, I'm gonna rant again about as you're getting your stuff.
This is I bought this for my daughter. Is that's
Yeah,
the lead
that's
character?
yeah.
Tanjiro.
Well, he's co-lead, but yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
100%. It's him and oh my gosh, what's her name?
Shout out to TJ Maxx.
Nezuko.
Got this for $10 and a T-shirt for my daughter.
Yeah, nice. Nezuko is the sister, so
That's it.
Nezuko. But yeah, Muichiro. Yeah, Muichiro. Oh, Muichiro is he's one of the Hashidas. He's the current one for I think he was recently retired. Azujo. But yeah, he recently retired because he lost. Oh no, yeah, he lost an arm. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Adner. How do you spell it?
stop it. But yeah,
All right,
but
he did fix himself.
what is overall like? What how okay?
On a scale of
How
1 to
did
10,
she feel about it?
she felt okay about it. She is happy she got
Okay,
to do it. She got to experience it. It's not what it's not what she expected. I think she wanted to be more like WonderCon,
wonderful.
where you could go up and meet people, go up to a table. Like when we go to Revolution, they have right in the middle. They have like when we went to Revolution this year, they had these tables in the middle, back to back, and they had like Ashley Eckstein and all the guys from Rebels and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you could go up and you wait in the queue and you get your stuff signed, you get your picture taken, and you get to meet them, whatever. She was
Mhm.
expecting more of that, and they didn't. They had a lot more behind, like I said, more behind a quote unquote paywall. And on, by the way, not even in the convention center. We had to go across LA Live,
Yeah.
almost a mile away to the well, a
Oof.
mile walking to the
Yeah.
Marriott, only to be told that we couldn't go in. So it was a little disappointing. She was
Yeah.
upset about that. She had fun seeing all the cosplayers. She had fun cosplaying herself. She went dressed as Hatsune Miku, the AI artist. Um,
Vocaloid.
and so I had fun going dressed as, of course, when in, I know I was in enemy territory, but I went dressed as the Ronin from Visions,
Mhm.
which, by the way, I was in enemy territory. There was only 2 Star Wars characters
Hey.
dressed up in the
Yeah.
entire convention. One guy was like a hybrid of like Kylo Ren and like a oh my gosh, the Inquisitors.
Okay.
So it was cool. And I just think so many people saw my cosplay and were like, "Oh, you're a Sith," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm neither a Sith nor a Jedi." That's what
Yeah.
Ronan says. But
Yeah.
yeah, what sucks is like part of my costume showed up the day of, and then or a couple days afterwards. I actually was going to have one of my droids from Droid Depot with the samurai with the Japanese straw hat on top of it, and was going to give one of them like a little bamboo stick, and I was going to carry it around so it looked like the R2
Yeah.
unit, or actually it was the R5 unit that
Yeah.
Ronan brings in.
That's yeah. That's funny. That's, that's funny. So, but
But no,
yeah.
I had fun. I had fun.
That's
Got a
good.
new light. I got a new lightsaber. That's sort of looks like the Ronin's. It's not. It's called the Assassin. Shout out to Deluxe Blades for getting it here literally 2 days before. Actually, got it here on July 3rd, so the day before the
That's good.
holiday, and then we went on the 5th for the convention. Um, my daughter, I don't think she really gave it a score, but she had a good time. She's glad she went. Her words, I wouldn't go to this one again.
Mhm.
She wants to talk to JR. This is her exact words. She's like, can we talk to JR and find out about the one in Anaheim? So there is an Anime Expo that does go to the Anaheim Convention Center, which I've now been to. Of the convention centers I've been to, counting the one here in Palm Springs, Atner, it's a fair bet. I'd say a 2 out of 5 is not a bad. I was gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it like a 4.
Mhm.
But again, I only went one day and I went on the worst day to go. Um, and I do not recommend if you go to a convention and you can only go to one day, if you want to experience like the overall, like you get the overall experience of a convention, you can't argue with going on a Saturday. If you want to get to go to like Artist Alley and meet people, I would find like a Friday or maybe even like on a Sunday if there are booths available. Sunday's usually the day better for shopping. But
Yeah.
overall, yeah, I'd say if on a scale of 5 out of 5 stars, I'd go 2 out of 5. It's not a fair bad judgment. I'm sure that my daughter would
Yeah.
probably give it a 2 or a 3. Good food though. Woo, great food actually. A lot of
Really?
Asian food, a lot of Korean barbecue, a lot of
Mm.
Japanese seafood, Chinese food, I mean everything.
Good.
Um, the whole the whole continent was represented well. I had some amazing spicy chicken, like I think it was Korean cooked, really really good. Um, and I sampled a few other things. There were some different soups that they were sampling. They give you little like cups of it. That was really
Yeah.
good. But yeah, all of that was good. I, I hate to say that. I hate to say I wouldn't go again, but maybe I would and not go on the weekend of the 4th of July.
No, I would have recommended for you guys to go either on a Friday or a Sunday. So I'll be
Yeah, we
honest with
just
you,
yeah. When I bought the
it's
tickets, I didn't know I had Friday off. So
yeah, it's always gonna be the thing where like Saturdays is always gonna be the worst thing to go to specifically, and for any convention, because that's usually the busiest days, and so Sundays would be good, and Fridays would be good, specifically for Anime Expo. Oh, last thoughts on it too. Like one of my better times of it, right, was when I first went to it back all the way back when like in 2000, like 2007, 2008, a long, long time ago too. My first time going to there, and when it was small, when there was very
yeah,
few of us, like when there's very few like full on fans of anime, and for the small for the small amount of fans there were when going to there, it was even though it was still within the thousands, right? It was a lot of dedicated fans. There was a lot of those, and so I saw a lot of the merchandise. There was a lot more of this crazier merchandise, right? I came home with like 3 swords. I think I still have one to this day. I
there we were
I
very close to doing some weapons. My daughter was looking very specifically for a sword
one of the blades.
from a particular video game.
Hmm.
And I can't remember
She could probably find
which
it.
game. What's that?
Yeah, but yeah, you should probably find it in an Anime Expo. Totally honest with you. But yeah, like, well,
They did,
those are
yeah,
like
they didn't have it.
those were my fondest moments, man. But like more recent versions of like me going to an AX, right? It was very much the whole like everything's too freaking packed. Everyone got a freaking attitude. Everyone got like everyone is knowing we're packed close up together, and it's just one of those things where it's like I know everyone's an extrovert or no, everyone's an introvert.
Yep.
At the same time, when you know, and they're socially awkward, but when you know when you're in the wrong, right? Like being someone's personal space or whatever, and you don't, apologize for it. It's like, yo, okay, you're just want to be an asshole, be an asshole. Do I gotta be the adult here and say, oh yeah, cool, hey, no problem, type of shit? And so it's one of those things. Like anime nerd shit is always going to be, filled with people who are, have social anxiety, who are going to be younger, who don't know how to handle social situations. And it is what it is, right? At the same time, for those who know how to handle situations like that, are usually the fucking assholes who aren't really there for the culture type of shit, right? Or they're the fucking, they go in there and they ridicule people for being part of the culture. And so, like, yeah, it's just one of those things, man, where it's like the handful of times I was about to get in a fight in Expo was always an Anime Expo. That's how it
Yeah.
is. That's how it is, man, for some weird reason.
And so if I'm allowed here, the people I really had were more of the middle age to older Asian gentlemen that were mainly the problem.
Yep.
Really rude, pushing jump. And I know that comes from a uh, cultural standpoint where when you go to cities like Tokyo, when you go to places like Hong Kong or even Beijing or a lot of the major metropolitan cities, in Asian countries,
Mm.
it's wall to wall people, so they're used to it. But at the same time, is a lot of um, especially Japanese. Having grown up around cousins that were Japanese, um, it's such a friendly. Um,
Mm.
uh, I don't say culture because they weren't really raised in the Japanese culture, but like they're friendly people. My
Yeah.
uncle is very friendly. His parents, who I grew up knowing, were super friendly. They were second generation here in the United States. Um, but it was just really odd to I mean, I
To
get
see the
it.
type. Yeah.
It- and,
There's
and
this. Go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
just that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And again, I get it. I knew going in. I even told my daughters, like, "You stick with me." And it's kind of one of the reasons why I was glad I brought the lightsaber. Was like, if we get lost, as soon as I realize you're not around me, I'm gonna put the lightsaber up. So
Yeah.
come to the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
just
that. The other Asian men, even Asian women too, that like are abhorrently like fucking dickish and asshole. That's the whole different fucking connotation too. Because like there's a lot of the type of there's a lot of type of personalities where like the ones who are dicks and assholes, and the ones you see, right, that's always bullying the small younger kids, right, that are somehow are getting ahead of life in nearly every freaking either K drama or a Japanese drama. Yeah, they exist for a reason. Right? And you see a lot
yeah.
of those personalities out there too. But like, yeah, 100% agree, bro. It's those those were some of the fights I was getting into because
I,
it had to do with because Asian people always, yes, there always is very much respect around the board, and they adhere to that level of respect, right? And so to the point where like they even like if they get pushed around, they apologize like, oh, sorry, right, it's their fault type of shit. And so you have the people on the flip side of like those fuckers, right, are really out there. But
oh,
yeah,
I will say, merchandise standpoint, not bad.
yeah, SAX.
So this is some of the pins. Me, I collect pins. So this was
Yep.
the I hope I say this right. Amamori pins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kind of cool.
Yep.
And these are the yen coin pin.
Hmm.
So these will both be going on my lanyard when I go to San Diego next week. And now this isn't my full pull list, but
Just show me some. Yeah, just show me some of the good shit. We've been
I'm gonna
at
show.
this
I'll
for
just
an hour and 40.
Sorry, I'll just show you the prints. Sorry.
Yeah.
So speaking, this is shout out to Atner. I got this. All the fire
Wow.
starters,
All the fire stars, nice.
and there he is, right there, the goat, right there, right there. Wait, Coco, right there. Oh shit.
Get your boy. Get your boy.
Yeah, Boy Coco, right there, the goat. No, I'm just kidding. It's down here. The original, the OG Charmander, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I don't know who this artist is. I apologize. I was going to try to have it up for the podcast.
Yep.
Maybe JR knows the characters. I don't know if you know this one. I just really like the artwork.
I think that might be from like Genshin Impact, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be from
But
a
I just,
new video game.
but I was just saying, it's like this. I just love the style, just like the quick brush strokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just love that
It
about
looks like
anime.
Chun. Let me see it again. It looks like Chun-Li because of the stance and everything, but like she doesn't have
I
the
can
buns.
I can
It's
attest.
great.
Okay, that is what they call in this business, guys. That is what they call a tease. This is not Chun Li, but
Not
wait.
too- It's not Chun.
But we know who this is.
Yeah. Awesome.
Diana Prince, Wonder
Yep.
Woman. I thought it was great. Last one at the con. I got the absolute last one.
That's a great one. That's a great pickup.
Chun-Li,
Chun-Li.
there we go.
Okay.
And of course the aforementioned buns. As
I
JR
was talking
pointed
about I was talking about the top buns.
out. Sure you were.
The hair. No, I was literally because like if you look at the first one,
Yeah, I know you.
if you look at the very first picture, she even in that she has a black dress, I think a black alternative dress, and she would have top buns as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I forget there was the girl who was working the booth told me the character's name, and it was, and
Let me guess that character.
but
know.
I do really like this. Again, I like again not for the obvious, but again, kind of like the paint strokes and stuff like that. It's so raw. I do like that about, and that's one of the reasons why I like the duel on Vision's episode season 1 was it's kind of that style is drawn that way. Speaking of which, of course, had to get a Ronin, had to get a samurai poster. The artist, I will give her a shout out on Instagram, did sign it for me. She was in the booth for you sisters. I think her name is Nogi, is her artist name. Nogi.
GI? Nogi.
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 I apologize.
Nogi.
So another one of her pieces of work. And then
Jinx?
this is the aforementioned one that JR, you and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's I forgot her name, but she's in Steam Slayer as well.
So this is
Mitsubi. I forgot her name. Yeah,
hit us up.
One of the Hashidas, yeah.
But she's also known as Butterfly Girl. But I just like
which your daughter cosplayed for the first WonderCon.
That was her actually. I think that may have been her first ever cosplay.
Yeah.
And
good for her. Good for her.
And she worked her ass off.
Yeah.
She made a homemade katana.
Okay.
Out of cardboard and masking, or not masking tape, shipping tape.
Yeah. Hey,
and she still has it. That's
good for her.
So yeah, she did a great job. She did, like I said, she did cosplay as Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
She did a really good job. For those who don't know who Miku is, I'll steal this little statue. This is a version of her. She's
a pink version of her, yeah.
Pink version of her, but she went with more of the traditional
blue and white, right?
The blue and white,
yeah.
Again, I don't know if I have any pictures of her on Instagram, but again, you can see my my version of Ronin on there, and I'm going to make a better stab at it. Maybe not this year, but I had fun. So yeah, that's my review on Expo. We will have a full preview of San Diego Comic-Con next week, or a week from either a week from Monday or a week from Tuesday when I'm in San Diego, and then we'll have a wrap up of Comic-Con the week after. But let's talk about what has been burning the midnight oil, and that is wrestling. Let's talk WWE, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA. Maybe not all those things, but let's talk pro wrestling. Brother, it is absolutely right now
BBL Bailey. If you have not watched the most recent WWE Raw, which even though I'm pretty sure it's still going right now, but I caught some of the earlier stuff, right? Edner, you know what's up, bro. BBL Bailey. Oh my, I can't believe she said it out loud. But Nia Jax is crazy. But hey, man, here we are. We live in this world now, dude. We live in this world.
How about your boy, Pat McAfee?
Yeah,
Pat McAfee going. He's built like a brick shit house and said it live on Raw. And then
I can't wait to go on.
I just love how he goes. That man is built like a brick shit house, and Michael Cole's like, you could have described him somewhere else. He goes, it's 9:35 Eastern. We can say what we want. I was like, I love Pat McAfee so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
they need to keep Pat for like so many more years, bro.
Oh, he has straight up said that if they got to a point where like, bro, we can't afford you anymore, he's like, that's cool, just put me on TV. You don't pay me. He's like, he makes so much money doing everything else.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, so first and foremost, it's been a minute, right? Changing the guards of like who's the new SmackDown champ, of course, from forget the Anointed One. And oh my gosh, Vince leaving. Yeah,
I hate to
uh,
say it. I hate to say it. The guy was a
yeah.
genius, but it really,
You know what happened? He got old. Well, granted, he's also fucking creepy as fuck, but also he got old. So there's a lot of reasons why. But
that
going on to going on to Roman Reigns, of course, losing the title to inevitably to the Golden Child right now, quite literally Homelander. I've been saying this since day one, but hey, we're here now.
whoa.
Cody motherfucker Rhodes, right? But okay, that was like months ago. To now, where we got we got budget ass freaking Bloodline.
And keep going. I got something for you. Keep going.
Where we got budget ass Bloodline, but the
Bloodline
fucking
Wish.
Okay, Bloodline Wish, but at the same time, like 2 weeks ago, right? We got fucking the man himself, Jacob Fatu, coming in and showing and putting people on notice, bro. The amount of now I understand why, right? Jacob Fatu was supposed a lot of actually Samoans were supposed to be coming in the last couple of months, right? Right. Damn it, Tanner, don't do this to me right now. My chain of thought is messed up. But like Jacob Fatu was initially supposed to come in like I think early, right? But the reason why it took him so long is because he had to lose all this weight, man. And I'm happy about it, right? If anyone saw any of his, what the hell is he doing? But if anyone saw any of his matches prior to his run in WWE, he could tell that the man is a little bit bigger. Was once a little bit bigger, but now he's smaller and great. Because good God, if you saw this type of stuff he did tonight, dude, on SmackDown, good God, his whisper in the wind that he did during Money in the Bank, that man does that stuff on the regular. Good God, Jacob Fatu is gonna put everyone on notice. Not only that, but we got what's her name? Adner, help me out. They just signed her yesterday. They signed her yesterday. Veronica, I forgot her name. Moreno? She's a beast too, and they just picked her up yesterday. Bro, what the hell's going on? Julia's coming to NXT? What the hell's going on here, man?
They are
not only that, right? But there's also rumor too. This came out months ago, where $17. That's the cure. Yeah, there you go. This came out months ago where they trademark a name called, and just take me here. They trademark a name called Caesar Solo, right? And for a lot of people, they thought that Caesar Solo was a new name for Jacob Fatu. Nah, homie, it's not for Jacob Fatu. It's for Zilla, the younger cousin, right, that Jacob was running with right before he moved to WWE. And
Caesar
so
Sokoa.
Sorry, there you go, Caesar Sokoa, right? And so Caesar is gonna be Zilla's name, right? Why Zilla? Well, what's Roman? It's Roman and Caesar. And he's gonna be part of the new bloodline because Jimmy and Jay are coming back together. And it's too on the nose, but at the same time, it's WWE storytelling, right? It's supposed to be simple, and I'm fucking loving it, man. Good guy, and that's just them. I'm not even talking about we haven't even gotten to freaking Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and their feud and how that spilled over to freaking what's the name, dude, to Seth Rollins now, and like because of their elevation of just them being complete assholes and haters towards one another, it's solidified the world's heavyweight championship to even greater heights now, making Damian Priest look like a freaking awesome champion. I'm like, bro, like the whole of WWE right now is eaten, and I'm not even talking about NXT yet. I'm telling you, this fucking kid Javon Evans is the one. Javon Evans is the one. This kid got jobbed the fuck out of AEW. To Jeff fucking Jarrett and some other dudes that ain't even there no more. He got jobbed the hell out of AEW during one of them night ones, and then he came leaping on the scene quite literally. Went from Malachi to Javon and just freaking jump top rope cutter somebody into like my heart. Like, bro, where this kid been? like, bro, it is crazy. Wait, let me see this, Anna. Okay, so here's the thing. At Priest barely came up. Here's the thing. Priest being a champion doesn't matter. What matters is the championship is elevated beyond him. Because if you remember this time, same time last year, the championship, right, was considered a second tier championship. What did Roman say? Just go over there and be at the kids' table with your secondary title. That's exactly what Roman said. Just go over there, right? Like, yo, you're not nowhere near this. What happens? You get CM Punk and Drew McIntyre to have the most legendary, hateful, spiteful, beef of all time in WWE, where they want to go at each other's families at this point. You got
That
freaking
was
Drew McIntyre. You got Drew McIntyre carrying CM Punk on his shoulders, bloody in his hometown, and just laying him there on the on the panel like some sacrifice to a pagan war god. Like, bro, if you want to talk about imagery, just look at that type of stuff, bro. Like, oh good god,
Atner, the title not being lifted properly. It's funny is I'm gonna probably start streaming this because I got WWE 2K24 is I've actually it's funny, it was like I was talking to a buddy of mine about what I'm doing on 2K24, and he's like, because I do the WWE Universe mode where you can kind of just edit the whole calendar and the show and stuff like that. Is I've been telling stories and because it's easy to have a video game match. You can sit there and have that's kind of what AEW is doing. They're doing video game matches. And it's the same thing with all other sports. Is what's killing other sports is no one wants to see video game scores. The NBA is a joke. Why? Because no one wants to see 145, 140. They want to see tough, grit, down and dirty. Give me 89, 88 with 5 seconds to play, and you got to play defense. Same with the NFL. Some of these Super Bowls are starting to get a little bit better where they're defensive struggles. Baseball, all they're doing is hitting home runs. Give me ground rule, give me some, hit and runs. I don't need to see home runs every time. That's why I kind of like hockey and soccer has been low scoring because it's a chess game. And so that's what wrestling is a chess game. And like the AEW and what they're doing on over there with especially with, and I've never been a fan of the SVPs, or what do they call them? The EVPs.
Mm. Oh,
the tag champs.
Oh, which one though? Which one? You talking about DIY, or are you talking about
I'm talking about on AEW.
Oh, you're talking about AEW.
The Young Bucks.
You talking about Young Bucks?
The Young Bucks. Hate them because all they are, and this is coming from, I think Ric Flair said it best: all sizzle, no steak. That's all they are. They're a flash in the pan. There's no storytelling with them. Now they're getting a little bit better with the kind of cocky, the EVP storyline where they're playing the kind of the heelers. They wear the suits and all the stuff. So, but the Young Bucks, I've never been able to stand them. I don't think they tell any kind of stories. And everyone has been saying for years, especially like the last 5 years since AEW started, that no one cares about storytelling. Just give us nonstop action. Well, here's the problem. There was a company literally called Total Nonstop Action, and they almost went out of business because that's all they did. They didn't tell storylines. And what's AEW doing right now? They're getting beat by a company who's telling good storylines.
Yep.
And that's what I'm having fun doing. Like my son and I, we play 2K24, is we created this storyline where WWE was invaded by, and we called them the Insurrectionist, was a bunch of people from MLW, from TNA, from AEW, and they brought their titles in and were like, and we're doing exactly what you're saying with Roman Reigns, like, the champion. Oh, we're the greatest champion, and you have all these people. What do you mean? You're the world champion. We're world champions too. And so it was just cool storylines. But to go
It's
back
just
to the title not being
yeah.
lifted high enough, I've always said they should have one champion, no world champion / WWE champion. They need a just a WWE champion right here, the big gold belt, the big WWE gold belt. All right. And guess what? The champ don't show up on TV. That's what the US and the IC champions for. And if you want to do this brand split, one champion floats between both brands, one set of tag champions, one woman's champion that can go between both shows. The US champion stays on SmackDown, the IC champions on Raw, and you have and you can even have a secondary women's champion, but the world champions, they don't show up on TV, or they're very rare. That's how you elevate the title. It's tough to elevate a title when there's two of them.
Yeah, but the thing about that too, though, right? If you do that case, and this is me, right, is that
Sorry,
you
I went on a
you
little
then
rant.
no problem. It's good. It's fine. It's just that for me specifically, then you just X out a bunch of storyline because of that. Then that's the thing. Like the way you want to the way you can elevate the other championship right now specifically is just one make just like have book bomb ass matches, right? But through long term storytelling, you make this history of two guys fucking hating each other now at this point with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre's goal is to get the championship belt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But CM Punk, all he wants to do is destroy Drew McIntyre. But Seth Rollins now, his standard has been the championship. But now you have Damien just wanting to be considered a good champion. So initially, when the flip comes in, where it goes to be that with their storyline, their eventual 4-man split, eventually is that the championship, the heavyweight championship crown is going to be elevated because these 4 men made it to a point where it's valuable to them because it means something to their storyline of what those 4 are trying to do. It should be better story. Like a title should be elevated, right? Because it means something to people. Right, very much the same way nowadays, right? Where people see Cody Rhodes as not a bad champion, but it's not elevated anymore because his story's done, technically, and he's trying to rebuild a story now. Before, the reason why it mattered so much for me, for him to be a champion, even though I was rooting for Roman, is because it meant the world to him and his family and the legacy of the Rhodes dynasty. That because his dad wasn't able to be a champion in hindsight, but because it was taken from him. So, like, the reason why that championship matters to Cody is because it matters to his fucking bloodline, right? You freaking, with a double entendre added on to that. Quite literally, right? It doesn't matter. His reign right now isn't necessarily, a better result because of him winning championship, because we have yet to see good matches booked with him, right?
Yeah.
Like, granted, AJ Styles is great, cool. Logan Paul, right? Who else? Like, that was kind of it, right? And right now he's not necessarily a better champion than Roman Reigns, but he's doing better with a championship than Roman Reigns in a sense because of one, Roman only wrestled in main events and that's it, while Cody is trying to go back to the old ways where he's wrestling on every pay-per-view as well as every Thursday or no Friday,
Yeah.
right? Like what they did back when The Rock and Stone Cold and Undertaker were champions, right? They would wrestle during these shows. And so I think that's for me. But I think for the biggest thing, if you take away these championships, right? You take away then a lot of storylines for what, for me right now, if you took away those championships, it's just a bloated roster. It would be just a super bloated roster. A lot of these storylines right now, like you're talking about your Chelsea Greens, you're talking about your Tiffys, right? You're talking about, if Liv, though, you're talking about Liv Morgan, right? Too.
Whoa.
Like, if the Liv Morgan, if you only had one championship, you really think Liv Morgan could beat Bayley? maybe not, and even not only that, but would Rhea still be championship, right? If he took away the titles from the women's titles. So again, like I get where you're going. You're trying if we're trying to elevate just titles, yeah, sure. Let it be a freaking dog fight. Let it be, who eats who, doggy dog world where Punk, 10 years ago hated that type of shit, right? But now because we got a lot of titles coming into play, we got a lot of other things, even though they be secondary, blah blah blah, right? A lot of these titles come into play. The only way to elevate them is through with good, compelling storyline, which we're doing right now. Hopefully, they're doing it right now. And so, like, I get the idea of less titles will be more fun or will be much more better. But like, I would also think that like, bro, a lot of these people would not get the same pop then. Like we would not like we got one freaking dude, right, who's holding the United States Championship, who only makes his presence known once every blue moon, as well as we call it one time, like once every other once every other PPE, right? PPV, right? And so yeah. So
I
here's the thing as well. But go ahead. You if you
I would
want your
say
thought, go ahead.
just real quick on what Atner says there. Count all the titles they have, and you tell me they're not just gigantic paperweights. I didn't. There was a couple titles I didn't realize they had. Like
Yeah.
there's the international title, and then there is another one which I can't even remember.
There's like two titles for different but
Well, it's like AEW. You should have the AEW title, your heavyweight championship, AEW title, a women's title. Have to have one. A tag champ, women's tag champ, and I actually really like the secondary titles, the TBS and the TNT titles. Those are cool, and leave it at that. I'm even okay because their big gimmick is the Forbidden Door. So the fact that they bring in the IWGP Championship, they bring in the AAA Championship, all that does is bring in more storylines. It does open that Forbidden Door. Those championships I'm okay with. But at the same time, and I think this is where Triple H is going to go. And I think this is where I think he needs to consolidate the belts and concentrate on Old Glory right here. So this is the main title. This is what the one that Cody's carrying right now, even though this says undisputed champion, which doesn't make any sense because there's two world champions. This is the belt that Cody carries. Okay. And I think this is where Hunter's going to go. Who is Hunter's role model? Ric Flair. What was Ric Flair? Ric Flair was the traveling champion. I honestly think you talk about how does Cody tell his story? When I think with Cody, he fights internally. He fights and lets the competition come to him. He's the champ. He's the flag bearer for the WWE. You put it on imagine Roman Reigns is a champion again. How sick would it be for Roman Reigns to all of a sudden show up at a New Japan show up at a CZW show in England, show up at a show at an independent show in the Middle East or in India or at an IWGP show or at Triple Mania. Have him become the traveling champion. And I know that for years that's what Hunter wanted to do. Hunter wanted to create the WWE champion was the new NWA champion, was the new now I know it's differently that the NWA champion was a heavyweight champion that represented the big organization. The NWA, of course, was the governing body over all of the territories when the United States was broken into territories. And I know it's different now because you have all these international products. But Hunter, I know, has said in the past that he wants to create a traveling champion. That's like, I think a few years ago when they first did their very first international pay-per-view, or what do they call them now? Premium PLVs or premium live events, PLEs.
Yeah. PLEs,
when they did their first international PLE, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I think AJ Styles whenever he was the champion, I think he showed up on like an independent show. Vince, I mean, granted, Vince was in charge at the time, but Vince by himself would have never allowed, let alone a superstar, but the champ to show up on an independent show. But Hunter's like, he showed up, so he goes, "Hey, let me bring the champ." And I really think that Hunter is going towards a traveling WWE champ, but I don't think it would work as a face. I think it has to be a heel champion so that he can go around and be an arrogant prick. Which Roman was very good. Exactly what you said. Hey, go over there and play on the B show. This is where the big dogs play. So have him do that. Have him go around and go like, have a heel walk around and go like, you call this, you call that's your champion? Really? And everyone talks about how Hunter buried people back in the day when he was a wrestler. I'll end on this. One of my favorite matches when I was in college was Triple H versus Taz on SmackDown. Triple H was the WWF champion at the time. Taz had just beaten Mike Awesome on a ECW pay-per-view. Taz was in the WWE already. He had signed. So this was like 2000. So Taz had already signed with the WWE. ECW was fledgling. It was on life support. Mike Awesome was the champion. Signs with WCW. Doesn't want to play nice. So Taz shows up and says, "Fuck you, you're dropping the title." Wins the title. Shows up on SmackDown. This was a big deal. Shows up on SmackDown wearing the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. In storyline, challenges Triple H to a title versus title match. They actually have a really good match. Tommy Dreamer breaks it up, ends in a no disqualification, but it told storylines. So it elevated Taz, it elevated the title, but it still made Hunter, the WWF champion, look good and made them, because he was a heel, made the title and the WWF look good, but at the same time still made their heavyweight champion look good, so to speak.
Okay.
Sorry.
So no, you're fine. It's just so the thing about, and I see a lot of I at least see a lot of examples as well, like the thing of just wanting one championship. One thing I do know, right, is storyline. Is just stories per se, right? One thing I do know how to make compelling, how making people want to be compelled to watch you, right? If we only have one champion, right, traveling to both shows at the same time, and then everyone else on both rosters, right, have nothing else to place for it, but they're all trying to go for the number 2 spot. There can be some compelling TV there. There can be some compelling storylines there, right, for a certain sense. But it's always going to be the same thing. You're going to have Drew McIntyre be number 1 on Raw, or you're going to have maybe AJ, maybe oh my gosh, what's his name, dude? Maybe he's got powerbomb today. He's just got powerbomb tonight by Randy. Or Randy on SmackDown. And that's kind of it, right? There's no necessarily other like good storylines afterwards. Unless you have like, because the thing about having more than one championship that I will say is that you set up better events for your PLEs.
Yeah.
If every PLE then is just, the main guy is gonna go against Cody at SummerSlam or at Clash of the Castle, or it's Cody again at this, right? It's gonna elevate Cody. That's it. It's gonna elevate Cody. Like, and you're gonna need Cody to win because Cody's the guy. Cody's your quite literal golden boy in this new Renaissance era. He's the guy. Everyone else is going to be diminished because of him. See, even CM Punk, because you need Cody to win, right? Because Cody beat Roman fucking Reigns. He beat the Empire by him. Well, not by himself, but like he's him. So you can't have AJ Styles beat Roman. Oh, beat beat Cody, right? So for me, what I do know is good storytelling. And the fact that the best storytelling, specifically for sports, has always been one thing and one thing only: your tournament arcs. If you watch any type of sports anime, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Hell, even fighting animes, right? Your tournament arcs are your best storylines. And every time you have a SmackDown or a Raw, it's basically tournament style. Who has a shot at the king, right? That's it.
when it's done right.
Exactly.
It's not always a clean cut. When
It's
it's done right.
when it's done right. And right now, it's being done pretty fucking fabulously, specifically with this beef with, again, Drew McIntyre, CM freaking Punk, Seth Rollins, and now Damian Priest. We can harp on Damian Priest being kind of the paper champ. Going back to Atner's conversations about AEW having way too many titles. The reason why it doesn't work on AEW is because there's no fucking storylines in AEW. The only storyline that's actually really good is Tony Storm's storyline. That was before she became champion. That's her being, a 1920s fucking movie star in black and white. That's something we haven't fucking seen before, and more
Oh, that's
props to
pretty
her.
cool.
That's her. That's all her, right? She became a heel, and she out of nowhere, the people are like, nah, you're going to be a face, right? You're gonna be a face, and we're gonna see that face bloodied, which happened this previous freaking AEW. And so it's like championships are only good. Championship belts are only good if the champion behind it is elevated through the storyline. And so it's like we AEW, yes, has a lot of titles. The reason why most of them don't matter is because there's no one to root for. Really and truly, honestly, there's no one to root for. Is only Swerve? Are we gonna just immediately just flip on Swerve Strickland after he hands the title to Will Ospreay because that's supposedly, that's it? He's just holding it for Will Ospreay? No, man. So you have to build a better storyline with that. How do you go from that bomber match between Will and Swerve onto, like, hopefully the future? Because these are supposed to be your two guys that are now your new pillars, right? Because your old pillars, they ain't doing really much for you. So how do you
No.
go from there? And so going back to WWE and NXT, right? You have a plethora of new talent in NXT. Ethan, the best event that WWE put last week was NXT's Heat Wave. It was a better show than Money in the Bank. That's crazy. It's insane. Oh my god, that was crazy. It is insane how Ethan All Ego became the championship. And the reason why he became the champion is because it wasn't him. It was on his strength. But he won because he's the heel there. And just it's so crazy how much two fucking egotistical bastards in Shawn Michaels and Triple H care so much about really good fucking storylines. And having Heatwave just pop off like the way it did, and then quite literally NXT the following week come out with freaking, oh my god, dude, what's his name? Say my name, and he's there. He appears. John Henry.
Oh Lord.
Joe Henry. Yeah, I'm thinking right now because it's 10 o'clock and I'm fucking hungry. But good guy, dude. Like, he comes in and he has an actual match instead of being, tossed over the rope the first time during that one time they did a freaking what we call it, a Royal Rumble. And so it's insane. It's just like, but good.
I was just saying we could talk about this for absolute hours. I don't want to keep you from eating. Add it real quick. Yeah, I agree. I'm wondering if that we're going to see more of this. I'd love for them to do the takeovers again. Here's my problem with takeovers: is if you do takeovers, you have to do takeover WrestleMania weekend, and you can't do that anymore because WrestleMania went to 2 nights. And that's the downside. I think that's one of the reasons why I think that WrestleMania needs to go back to one night and one night only. and you make it, and you do it. You can go to 5 hours. Okay. Right now you have Raw. It's at 3 hours. So if you make a pay per view 3 hours, it doesn't make the pay per view special because your TV show is 3 hours. So
Yeah.
what I've always told people is this: Raw needs to go back to 2 hours, SmackDown 2 hours,
Yeah.
NXT 1 hour. Regular pay per view shows are 3 hours. Start at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, go till 8 o'clock. SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, 3.5, 4 hours. WrestleMania, 5 hours. One night only. And you make Mania mean something. When you have it on 2 nights, not everybody gets to go to WrestleMania. Sorry, not sorry, I'll say it. That's the downside of having a robust roster, is not everybody gets to go to WrestleMania. But if you go back to Sunday, if you go back to WrestleMania one night and one night only, that gives you TakeOver on Saturday. That gives you the Hall of Fame still after SmackDown on Friday night, and allows you to build to WrestleMania.
This is where I'll kind of bump heads with you on this one. I personally love the 2-day event. Reason why? I tune out to a 5 to 6 hour fucking WrestleMania. I don't know why anyone thinks that's a good idea to do 6 hour, to do a 5 hour, 6 hour WrestleMania
The
when half of your
6-7
show,
hour, it was,
when
that
half
was
of your
bad.
show, that when half of your show was fucking ads. Like, yeah, here's the thing that I saw a breakdown quite recently of like how many actual like wrestling matches there are during WWE compared to AEW. AEW has 70% of their time is actual matches. 30%, 33% of the time is ads. WWE, 50, the shorter, like 45 to 50% of their time are matches. The other 50 to 45% are ads. That's the thing. So like it's either ads, or it's either going to be ads or out of ring engagement stuff, right? Like building up the storylines, right?
Yeah.
And so specifically for like WrestleMania, when most of your shit is basically just pizzazz, right? You get the, you get the ones, you get the couple celebrities that are on there, and maybe they do, maybe they pin your favorite wrestler, and then that's the thing. Oh, that's cool. That's a 5-10 minutes of like whatever screen time, right? For me, the best thing was that they did 2 days, and they actually gave a damn about like who's on stage. Yeah, I get the whole idea of like, oh, you won't get your shot. There's no participation award, right? But at the same time, for me, again, man, that's just like if we didn't get 2 days, the could you imagine if Cody just the first time just lost on the first night and that was it? His tag team with Seth, and they just lost, and that's it. That's it, right? You have one night, and that was the tag team match. That's it, right? But and that elevated the next day because he had to win with those rules.
Like I said, there are some pluses and minuses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a staunch traditionalist.
Yeah, you're all. I get it.
Mm-hmm. It's, I don't know. I guess because I listen to so much podcast and listen to guys like what's it called? Oh my gosh!
Don't say if it's fucking Guy Metzger and the other fuck who like all they care about matches, like, bro.
No. I'm talking about I only listen to Conrad. Okay. Something wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. And he won't say it because he kind of has to play the boss's card. But I don't know. I don't like the 2 nights. It doesn't make WrestleMania mean anything. It's a money grab. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
It's just for me again, dude. The 5, 6, 7, 8 hours at one point.
that is much. There is a limit to what one
there's
day.
it's there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fluff in WrestleMania or any PLEs to begin with, right? And there's a lot of build up specifically in WWE where half of your time is barely in the ring,
Yeah.
right? And so again, when you take out half a show, you're still getting the exact same show. You're still getting the exact same amount of like out of ring stuff as well as advertisement stuff. And so for me, it's just like, all right, we're just gonna have, it's gonna be a 6-7 hour event, and half of that time is gonna be an ad. It's gonna be a Slim Jim ad. It's gonna be it's gonna be some car commercial ad or whatever. And it's just that I'm like the best for me. The best thing they did was put it into to 2 days where at least somebody gets their shine. Where we get on the first night, CM Punk screwing over Drew McIntyre in front of his family, type of stuff. And so, like, I get it though. I get the old heads one like, why would you do one thing and the best should be the best? The pinnacle should be the pinnacle. Well, here's the thing though, the best is fluid nowadays. There is no necessarily the best wrestler right now in WWE. If that was the case, then it should just only be Cody Rhodes. Should only be Cody Rhodes. But even right now, Cody Rhodes is getting his ass whooped by Jacob fucking Fatu. But he's not the best because he just barely got in the game. So again, like I get it, I understand it. I think just for me right now, it's because I'm just so much of like I care so much about the storyline nowadays. It's like it makes sense. There's something to look forward to on both nights on a WrestleMania, or it makes something. There's something to look forward to why I should care about Crash at the Castle, or no, it's Crash at the Castle, or the one they're gonna do in Russia. So like. But again, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, like I said, we could, like I think Adner said it the best. We could sit here and talk about this all day long. And so there's some of the dates for you wrestling fans on the bottom that are fans. Some of the big pay-per-views that are coming up, of course. So it'll be SummerSlam. It's coming out August 3rd. TNA Slammiversary is a week from tomorrow, I believe. And AEW All In London is on August 25th. TNA Victory Road, September 13th. So some of the big shows coming up. We'll definitely talk some more about it. I know people have been clamoring for more wrestling talk. Yeah, I agree. Leaning more towards storytelling than Chris Van Vliet was the podcast that I think, I don't know if you know that was yours. I like Chris Van Vliet. I would say actually though the best podcast out there right now, the best podcast right now that's on the air is 6 Feet Under by with Undertaker. Yeah. So good. I highly recommend it. Start from the scratch. I think he only has like about a dozen or so podcasts. He breaks them up into 2 1-hour shows, so it's a little bit easier to digest. But it's still 2 hours of content, so really enjoy it. But he did one with Mark Henry a few weeks ago that was so good, and then he did a whole episode about Bret Hart that was really good. The one I'm listening to right now is with him and the Godfather. So
oh man, it's and definitely we're gonna have you on here when WrestleMania weekend comes along. I cannot wait, bro. I cannot wait till here's the thing too. When WWE goes to Netflix, I would hope to think there's gonna be a lot more matches being showcased because there's not really necessarily enough time for ads anymore. It's just full on. Hey, you got paid. Netflix is paying you, bro. You got to show on matches, right? Because I also believe then, like, if it's the best coming along, Braun Breaker would be fucking Intercontinental Champion right now. And for some weird reason, Sammy doesn't want to don't want to, to pull him over, to push him over. You don't want him over. So, well, granted, the reason why he's not getting pushed over is because Sami Zayn is not losing in Canada. He's just not losing in Canada. That's the thing. He's going to lose eventually, but not in Canada.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Braun Breaker, good God, that freaking athlete, dude. He is insane.
I love what they're doing to him. They're just letting him be just an absolute beast.
Oh, good God, dude. Sami Zayn is great, and he has definitely shown his merit and pulled his weight, man. But I feel like they're trying to hold back on the push for Breaker because they don't want the Roman Reigns effect to happen with him,
No,
right? Early Roman. Yeah.
because I mean,
Oh, and
he,
good.
no.
I see Adner's last comment. Keep in mind how long Roman and Gunther were champion. Gunther,
Gunther was a while.
yeah,
He was.
his was a while, and like granted, like he was just a great wrestler, and I'm happy that at least some level of NXT champions or NXT, alumni came into WWE and like was what had a pop immediately, right?
Yeah.
Like Finn was strong to get back with him as well as Damien, but
I
man,
will
I
say
still can't.
this about those two runs is it proved my point that I said earlier about sometimes, even though Roman and Gunther were on the show all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
really and truly, if you go back and watch, Roman wasn't always on Raw. He wasn't always on SmackDown. His presence was there. The bloodline was there. Paul Heyman was there. But Roman didn't. Now, there's for different reasons, obviously, for why he wasn't, but you don't need to have the champion on every show per se.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the champion doesn't need to wrestle on every show. He could show up and do a
Mm-hmm.
segment or something like that, but um, uh,
I,
dude, Cena did it perfect with Lesnar, the SummerSlam after Lesnar. So
I will say this. I will say this for rebuttal. Jake Paul, exact same thing. And granted, of course, it's the character Jake Paul, not the person. But like
you mean Logan
it's
Paul?
or yeah, Logan Paul. What the hell's name is, right? Logan Paul. Same thing. In the sense of like he's only going to wrestle in PLEs, right? Maybe for a championship, maybe for not. And maybe if he is on a segment, right, for a he's on SmackDown, right? Maybe if he's on for a segment, it's like a small snippet, or maybe he's just there for the night type of stuff, right? And so like I get it. Longtime champions, but at the same time, one, Roman Reigns is Roman fucking Reigns.
Yeah.
Right? You can't lose when you got Paul Heyman on your back and he's talking for you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you do 1,000-day run for every champion, because
No, of course not.
you look at Bruno Sammartino, who had the champion for like 16
15.
years or something like
Yeah.
that, and then it jumped around for a while. You had he jobbed it out to I can't think of the guy's name is now. He didn't job out. Bruno Sammartino doesn't do jobs. Um, Bob Backlund won it, and then Bob Backlund was beat by the Iron Sheik, and then Iron Sheik was beat by Hulk Hogan, and it kind of jumped around. But then you looked at guys like people forget, and because people still talk about it to this day, and is Triple H. Triple H had the title for forever, and it's like everyone was so annoyed by Triple H having the champion. Here's the thing: go back to Triple H's reign as the WWE champion from 1999 through like 2001, when he was, he'd go on his 20-minute promos and he would talk like this, and he's banging the boss's daughter. It's like the ratings didn't go down, the ratings went up. Why? People tuned in every single day to see him get his fucking ass kicked. And him and The Rock, my God, had some great matches that people forget about. People forget how good Triple H and The Rock's rivalry was. And that's what reminded me. Roman and Cody, that's what reminded me. It was the chase. And yeah, now the face champion has to turn around. And I think Cody, it's tough. Cody's like, you had Roman was very much like Triple H's run. He was a total chicken shit heel that ran the title for a while, and he had some great matches. You there, Roman is not The Rock. The Rock was different. you don't have, John Cena was the Hulk Hogan of this era. He was the, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, yada yada. He was a face champion that could run for many, many days. Cody's not that kind of face. I don't know, it's kind of weird. He's in that weird place because he could easily be a heel, but he's the face right now. So you're not gonna say, you don't need to see a champion run for 1,000 days every single reign, but like Atner said, make it mean something. And he's talking about when Brock Lesnar broke Undertaker's streak, you talk about a job. He got, was it Cena got beaten 14 seconds or something like that? Because it was like just suplex. And then 1, 2, 3, and people were like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, this is amazing storytelling. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. You're hungry, aren't you, bro?
A little bit, yeah, but no, just going back to what you guys said. Yeah, no, I 100% understand. That's it. I understand. That's it. Like, here's the thing about wrestling as a whole, where we're able to have a lot of these opinions. Actually, no, to couple back to what I originally said at the beginning of this thing, we talked about fandoms. We're able to understand nuance. We're able to understand like at least the complexities of the fandom in at hand, right? And it's okay to have these differing opinions, right? But I'm not gonna go over here and say fuck both of you, Natner. Right? And for your opinions about it, like, nah, man, like, cool, no, it's both of these opinions are valid, understandable. I get it. It's just more so you understand it elevates the championship or elevates the people there. For me, I'm just happy to see a lot more freaking storylines because I know damn well if we didn't have multiple championships, I would not get freaking Dragunov on the roster. I would not see freaking Trick Williams be champion. I would not see Javon Evans. I would not see majority of storylines happen because NXT again as a whole was supposed to be developmental shit and was once Ohio State Wrestling or no Ohio Valley Wrestling, and that's what we've seen. But because Triple H is such a fucking awesome storyteller, he's the one that like wants to put out these multiple storylines, bro. Oh, I'm gonna win, bro. 100%
a little callback to an old ECW pay-per-view.
So here's like, so it's like we can have a majority of it's okay to have the majority of these opinions, man. It's just that I know where you guys coming from, and we're there to see to basically try to hopefully elevate the fandom in total. That's cool, man. That's fine, bro. Like I said before, man, it's not gatekeeping is good and bad for its reasons. Gatekeeping is bad but necessary. And like we know our shit, we know what we're talking about. We both know like you want to do it because it elevates the title. I want to do it. I want multiple. You want one title because it elevates that title. I want multiple titles because it elevates multiple storylines and gets more people and gets more eyes on it, right? Because let's be fucking real. LA Knight would not be a thing.
Yeah.
LA Knight would not be a thing if Roman Reigns or if we had multiple championships. Because Roman Reigns will be gatekeeping the fuck out of that championship, and LA Knight will not get past Drew McIntyre. Let's be real. Right? But because he can go after now, I guess, the freaking Intercontinental title, or no, the US title. Great. Cool. I don't think for me, LA Knight would not be a big name. Liv Morgan would not be a big name. Who else? I don't think DIY would be champions today either. Right? So like that's just for me though. That's just me personally. Yeah. Because DIY would get their ass Jacob fucking fought too. You see that shit that what Jacob did to freaking DIY and everybody else? Oh my god. They showed a clip already, dude, where they showed was it they show make they showed Wish Bloodline do the power bomb onto a table. They did it on Randy right now, dude. That's crazy, bro. Campana when the turn's gonna break again the second time. Oh, bro, I think they're gonna be champion for a minute. Until inevitably the Usos come back and take it for them and have another 300-day reign or some shit. Oh, here we are.
Just don't turn on Gargano. Or is that who it is? It's Tommaso
Yeah,
Ciampa and Gargano,
yeah,
Johnny Wrestling.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna happen, bro. It's inevitable. There's three things in life that are inevitable: death, taxes, and Ciampa turning on Gargano.
I want that shirt. I want that shirt. Let's make it happen the next time the WWE comes through Acrisure Arena. Which, by the way, shout out to the DJ for the Firebirds this season, who is an absolute massive wrestling fan. I don't know who the guy's name is, but a great job. For multiple reasons. Okay, number one, when Fuego, the mascot, would dangle from the arena, they play Seth Rollins'
Yeah.
theme. When the game starts, what do you think they play?
Oh, they play
Motorhead. Time to play the game. Triple H's theme.
Hmm.
To start the second period, they play Kingdom, Cody Rhodes' theme. When they start the third period, they play Bobby Roode's Glorious. When Fuego, the last 3 or 4 minutes, when Fuego wants to get the crowd going again, he plays the Burn It Down theme from Seth Rollins. He's sprinkled in so many other themes. The dude's a massive wrestling fan. So shout out to the house DJ for the Firebirds. I hope he brings it. We've told him that from when they do the 3 stars of the game, that they should play they'll just do the third star and the second star real quick, and then when they do the first star, they should play Roman Reigns' theme and just have everyone go acknowledge him. So we do that. The section that I sit in, we do that for the 1 star, especially when it would be Chris Drieger, the goalie for the Firebirds. We would just all of us would yell out, "Acknowledge him," and we'd do the one. So yeah. Anyways, good times. Yeah, Atner, you're right. We could do a whole show just on this, and maybe we will during WrestleMania season, which is going to be in Las Vegas next year. It will be in it's going to be Indianapolis in 2026. Big announcement for them.
3 shows. 3 shows
Yeah,
will be in Indianapolis.
they are getting the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania. Good deal for Indy.
Yeah.
And who got that? I bet you that's all on Pat McAfee. I bet you he got that deal. So
yeah, 100% Pat McAfee.
So, anyways, all right. As always, he is also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram. He is JR Comic Kungan. I am Kevin Pillow at Voice of Reason 23. Our next episode, JR, I cannot believe this. It will be technically our season finale, which will for this season, which will probably be a short-lived hiatus because we owe you guys a lot of episodes.
Yeah, 100% we do.
Our final
100%.
our final episode of the season will be a week from I say right now it's probably be a week from Tuesday. And most likely, JR, if I can talk you into it, probably going to have to be a daytime show because that will be my first day in San Diego. And I will have training that night. So we'll have to do like a morning or early afternoon show before I have to head back down to downtown San Diego for orientation. So, so a week from Monday or Tuesday, most likely will be Tuesday, because I will probably be at Disneyland on the 22nd, getting one last reservation in before D23, which will be in August. So But yeah,
Well,
don't forget, like,
D23 is here this year, right?
D23 will be in Anaheim this year. I believe it goes to Orlando in the next cycle.
That's right.
And
And
there's
then
talk that
France.
it also could possibly make a run, because D23 has only been in Orlando, Anaheim, Chicago, and I don't think it's gone outside the US, but
It
there's
has.
rumored
It has.
yes.
It's done one time Japan, if I remember correctly. Because the reason why I know it's Japan is because they got a freaking, I think it was an exclusive comic. It was either France or Japan.
I think it was
Yeah.
France. I think it's been to France.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that D23 will probably be rotating out of North America probably in 4 years. So it does, because usually they do D23 every 2 years. So
Yeah.
2024 is going to be in Anaheim. It was in Anaheim in 2022.
Yeah.
Most likely in 2026, it will probably be in Orlando. 2028, it'll either be in Paris or in Tokyo. And then it probably won't be back until 2028 or 2030 back in Orlando or Anaheim. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Like our scroll says on the bottom, Celebration is rotating out of North America. It's going to be in Tokyo next year. It has not been, and it was in England. Yeah, was it in London in 20? Yeah, it was in London in 2023.
Yeah.
And was in it was in LA in 22 or 2021. So, anyways, so yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to D23, and yeah, busy couple of months for the show, and we'll be doing some stuff from both convention floors. And yeah, I was gonna do. Do you want to do one more? You want to end on the trailer, or do you want to just end it here?
Oh, what trailer you want? What was the second thing you wanted to do? Oh yeah, the thing.
We'll end it on here. We'll react to this, and then we'll call it a night. Here it is, the world premiere teaser trailer of Agatha All Along.
Another beautiful day.
Surprised to see you out here, Detective. Jane Doe. Found her down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force trauma.
What happened to you? I have a lead in the case, but can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
Is this really how you see yourself?
That
Sure.
witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell. Claw your way out. I miss the glory days. She took every bit of power I had, but I can beat that witch again. Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish. Join me. What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven? Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Sweetheart, you okay?
Oh my God! Whoa! What's she doing? Where's she going?
So yeah, you asked for dark. They're gonna go dark.
I will say, a little bit too late, but I'm happy we're here. I'm happy we're here. I'm happy. I like it. You know, I like it. Good.
So
Good.
we'll talk about that maybe at San Diego. JR, have a great night. Guys, thank you so much for staying up with us. We will see you when we see you.
All right, man.
All right.
The
Late.
headline of your show. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Being sick